The football championship season has arrived in Arkansas. 5 title games over the next 3 days, and you can watch them all live right here on Arkansas PBS Sports. Alongside my tag team partner, Wes Moore, I'm Bobby Swafford. The 8-man championship game between Cedar Ridge and Woodlawn coming up. We'll talk about that one in just a little bit, but Wes, what's better than 5 titles in 3 days?
2 tomorrow, 2 on Saturday. This is just kind of the a little taste of what you're going to get over the next 2 days. Tomorrow we get started with the 2A game. And there's a common theme for a lot of this weekend. It's common opponents. And we got 2 teams that played against each other from the same conference, the 2A, tomorrow at noon.
It's going to be a lot of fun. East Poinsett County has been to the championship game 3 consecutive years now, still looking for that first title. And then Friday night in the 7A championship matchup, what else can you ask for? The champion from the West, the champion from the Central, 2 undefeated teams, Bentonville and Bryan.
Last year had that same matchup. Last week, both of them, it looked like in the fourth quarter, were both going to lose. But the defense got a key stop for both Bryant, for Bentonville. They get the ball back. Bryant goes down, scores, goes to double overtime. Bentonville goes down, scores, and wins in regulation. But these teams are tested. They're 10-0, or now 12-0. And the 2 best teams in their conferences meet for the state title like it should be.
Moving to Saturday, 2 more championships right here at War Memorial Stadium. Start with the 5A title game, Lakeside and Robinson. And what a more impressive run will you ever see than what the Rams did in the playoffs.
That's another rematch they played earlier this season. Lakeside was 4 points away from winning the 5A South, but lost in Week 9 by 2 points, lost in Week 10 by 2 points. They fall to the 3 seed. They're so close to being the number 1 seed, and a matchup of 2 teams that have already played each other and really considered 2 of the best in the state. Lakeside but goes on the road after those 2 losses, and it was an impressive road march for the Rams.
And then we have a gym to wrap up championship weekend number 1. What can you say about Greenwood doing for their 3rd consecutive perfect season? Standing in their way, another conference rival in Shiloh Christian.
Yep, they played earlier this season. Greenwood got the best in that matchup, but Shiloh feels like they're healthier this time, feels like they can give them a run and end that Greenwood run. And Kane Archer, his final game as a Greenwood Bulldog, never lost a game as a starter.
That's right. Never lost a game at all in high school. It's going to be really impressive. That's the next 2 days, but we got to worry about what's on tap tonight. Cedar Ridge and Woodlawn. One of these teams is going to win their first ever state football championship. We'll preview it for you coming up.
This broadcast is underwritten in part by...
Since 1937, the electric cooperatives of Arkansas have been providing power to homes, farms, and businesses across our state. The cooperatives are member-owned and work together to serve Arkansans. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas proudly support high school students and athletics in Arkansas and hope you enjoy watching the state championship games on Arkansas PBS Sports. Better connected together. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas.
UAMS is a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports. UAMS Health provides orthopedic and sports medicine care across Arkansas, supporting athletes and teams throughout the state. Find out more at UAMShealth.com. Winrock Automotive supports Arkansas athletes as a sponsor of the Arkansas PBS Sports broadcast of the high school state championship games, with 7 dealerships across the state serving Little Rock, Conway, and Jonesboro. Winrock Automotive is community-focused and provides vehicle sales and service across Arkansas. We're honored to be a part of these unforgettable moments celebrating Arkansas student-athletes. Winrock Automotive, connecting communities through service and support.
Centennial Bank supports communities across Arkansas and is a proud supporter of the Arkansas Activities Association and Arkansas PBS Sports, providing financial services since 1999. Member FDIC, more at my100bank.com.
Everett Buick GMC provides vehicles to Arkansas families and supports local organizations. Community involvement has been part of our story for generations. Proud to support the Arkansas Activities Association and Arkansas PBS Sports. More at everettbgmc.com.
For over 70 years, Farm Bureau Insurance has offered coverage for automobiles, homes, farms, and lives across Arkansas. Proud to support the Arkansas Activities Association. More at afbic.com.
coin toss in the 8-man state championship game is coming up between Cedar Ridge and Woodlawn. We got to find out how these two teams got here. First, for the visiting team, the Woodlawn Bears, who reside in Risen. Opening this, they won the South Conference and rolled through the postseason. How about a 50-20 victory over Midland? Then they scored 68 points over Rector a couple weeks ago to punch their ticket to their first ever state championship game. And Ethan Saylor plays quarterback, but he does a little bit of everything, Wes.
Yeah, he doesn't throw it a whole lot, only 97 attempts, 44 of 97, 656 yards, 11 touchdowns, but he does a lot of damage on the ground. He's rushed for 1,853 yards. So think about that. He can get to 2,000 rushing yards tonight with 147 yards. He scored 34 touchdowns on the ground. So in all, 45 touchdowns. I think he also caught a pass, it seems like, in my notes earlier this year. So Ethan Saylor does a little bit of everything for Woodlawn.
On the other side of things, Cedar Ridge, his only loss came to the 8-man club state champion. They won the North Conference 70-26 over Dermont in the opening round, and this was an impressive victory, 38-20 over Strong Huttig, the defending state champion, and Cedar Ridge gets to the championship game. And speaking of a do-it-all athlete, a utility knife, if you will, Jonas Elms, he can run it, he can throw it, he can even catch it.
Oh, and he also plays a little defense, I'm sure, too. You're going to see these guys all over the field. Jonas Elms, 88 of 121, 1,401 yards passing, so he throws it a little bit more than Saylor. 22 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions on the year for him, but he's also rushed for over 1,000 yards, 1,340, 26 touchdowns on the ground rushing, so that's 48 touchdowns combined for Jonas Elms.
8-man football is a little different if you haven't watched much of it, or any of it, to be in fact. You'll see the lines right down the bottom of the numbers. That's because the football field dimensions at 8-man is a little different. Still the 100 yards length, but only 40 yards wide, so that's why you'll see the sideline stripe right below the numbers, and not beyond that, obviously 8 guys on the field and a lot of points on the scoreboard.
Well, you saw it on how they got here on the graphic, how many points they scored in their victories, and you also saw how many points they were winning by. Neither one of these teams played a one-possession game. I think the closest game was 18 points over Strong Huttig. The rest were 20, 24, 28 points. So they've had their way in the playoffs. Will that happen tonight? You would think it would be a closer game.
Let's take a look at tonight's officiating crew. Referee Todd Garrett, the umpire is Gene Chambliss, the lineman Chad Allen, the line judge is Chris Phillips, and the back judge is Joe Montgomery. Obviously, this is a huge moment for the officials as well. They get a chance to call a state championship game. I had a chance to talk to those guys before the contest. They said, yeah, the big school football is fine and dandy. We like the little guys. We like to play that 8-man, that 2A and 3A. Good to see them have a chance to call a state title game as well.
Todd looks a little cold. Hands in the pocket. I noticed some of the guys out there without even some sleeves on, playing tough man in this cold weather tonight. In Little Rock, we had some sleet today, some rain, even some snowflakes. It is chilly out there tonight.
Yeah, we were over here earlier this week at the stadium, and Bryant was practicing. They have a little Oklahoma drill, and it's about 28 degrees on the surface out here. So the weather has been cold. Right now, though, it's 35 degrees, overcast. Not a whole lot of wind, but the precipitation is mostly out of the way for the entire weekend. So it is a perfect time to get out and watch a little football. It's December. It's supposed to be cold. We still got about another minute to kick off. The two teams, of course, ready to get out there and tee this one up, put total leather. But 8-man championship, Woodlawn and Cedar Ridge. And this is the 5th official sanctioned state championship at the 8-man level. The first one we had 5 years ago, 66-60 in overtime. Don't know if we're going to see that kind of points, but would not be a bit surprised if we crack the 100-point mark combined.
That was a long game, too. I remember watching that and was like, wow, this game's going to go all night. Looking at the weather, the forecast for the future, Saturday, have you seen that? 50-something degrees on Saturday. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better championship day in December, weather in the 50s, partly cloudy, sun popping out. So this may be the coldest game we play this year, unless, tomorrow night may get a little chilly later on. But no, I think the weather's going to turn out really good for us.
It's funny, the 8-man game has had the worst weather of any of the classifications the last handful of years. We had torrential rains a couple years ago that completely wiped out the sideline, if you will. But we are counting down to kickoff, and we've seen some nasty weather through the years. I think it was 2014, Bentonville and Cabot played through the sleet and the snow. I think it was 2012. Boonville and Warren played, and it was pouring down rain. I actually fried a TV camera, forgot to bring the rain gear, and that one cost a couple dollars to replace.
Remember the Pulaski Academy McClellan game when it was a torrential rainfall,
That's
and
right.
PA went in at halftime and changed their jerseys and put on some dry, warm clothes?
Don't have to worry about that tonight. Perfect weather, and Woodlawn starts with an onside kick, but that one's not going to make it to 10 yards, so Cedar Ridge is going to have excellent field position. And our first look at Jonas Elms and the Timberwolves offense.
Yeah, we talked about Elms. He's got an offer to Lyon College. Shows you the kind of athlete he is. He can do it both running and passing. He's got Colby Fears, one of his receivers, with 2 touchdowns. Wesley Horton, wearing number 50, catching the passes for him. He's got 11 touchdowns on the year. And Bentley Bullington, should point him out. He's not playing. He's been out. We saw him on crutches, went out for the coin toss. Meant a lot for this team, but they've been playing without him for a while. I know they would love to win it for him tonight.
So Cedar Ridge starts the first possession of the contest in Woodlawn territory. Snap to Elms, going to go quarterback sweep around the right edge. Got a lead blocker up to the 40, finally steps out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Call it 8, maybe 9 yards. Call it 10. Keep moving the chains. One play, one first down.
It's going to take a minute to get used to the dimensions and seeing. I was looking for the markers on the far side, and they weren't on the sideline. They're out on the normal field. But, yeah, he picks up a first down, just following his block. Kind of a quarterback power over the right side, and made that look easy.
There's just so much more space out there. Even though the field is 13 yards more narrow, there's a lot of real estate for a ball carrier. Elms looking to throw, goes out to the left flat. That one caught, nicely done, and on the far side, hauled in by Dawson Ingalls, and he picks up about 6.
Yeah, Ingalls trying to turn it upfield, but Woodlawn was there, made a quick, sure tackle to make sure he couldn't turn it up and get up the field and get some more yards. It's our first look at Bo Watson, one of the leading tacklers for Woodlawn, makes a sure tackle and prevents the first down.
Pushed out of bounds just inside the 30. They do give him the 28, so they're going to be second and a long 3. The officials are going to get together. They stop the clock. We're only 13 seconds into this contest, and Cedar Ridge knocking on the door of the red zone. Head coach Scott Morgan leading the Cedar Ridge squad.
Had a clock issue.
Yep. So got to reset the game clock. There's not a minute 13. They're trying to get it to 11:30.
I don't think the clock started on that last play because it was 11:47. We ran 2 plays, both of them out to the outside, so I know more than 13 seconds should have gone off the clock.
Right. It's the first championship game. Got to work out the kinks. Woodlawn and Cedar Ridge, they're ready to lock it up. So they announced they're going to keep the clock on the field while they try to fix things a couple boosts down from us, but it's going to be 2nd and 3 for Cedar Ridge at the Woodlawn 28.
How'd they keep it on the field? They got like a little timer down there?
They all have a stopwatch, and so you just kind of count it down. So obviously this early in the contest, not going to be that big of a deal, and once they get things figured out, they can just relay it up here what they've got on the wrist. Twins to each side of the formation for Cedar Ridge. And Woodlawn a little too anxious to jump across. It's going to be a free 5 yards, but more importantly, a first down for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, free 5 yards right there. You see the little anxiousness there from Woodlawn's defensive line. Looked like they got all 3 of them.
Yep. Let's take a look at the Winrock offensive starting lineup for Cedar Ridge. It's going to be Elms, Ingalls, Martin, and Horton. Got Kobe Fears as the skill position. Patch, Gill, and Cifuentes going to be the offensive linemen for Cedar Ridge up front. Take a look at the defensive starters in just a moment, but it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line for the Timberwolves. Elms, a pass, bad snap, and he picks it up, and he's got some space on the left side, makes a defender miss. 10-5, touchdown, Cedar Ridge.
It's when you know you got a good offense, when you have a dribbler back to the quarterback, throws off the whole play. He makes one guy miss in the backfield and goes over the left side and was touched barely at the 20 and then just scampers in for the score.
Sometimes a defensive player will see the football on the ground and maybe contain. Elms just sees an open space on the left side and does all the damage. So Cedar Ridge has a 6-0 lead. Don't imagine we're going to see many PAT tries here, and Cedar Ridge is going to line up and go for 2.
3-play drive, pretty quick. Touchdown.
Another low snap. Elms has it, run the option, pitches it out to Ingles. Ingles fighting, going nowhere. Nice job by the Woodlawn defense. They rallied to the football and shut down that 2-point try, but the Timberwolves strike first as Jonas Elms finds the end zone, as he's done so many times already this season. A 27th touchdown on the ground.
Yep, had one shot at him there in the backfield, couldn't make that tackle. Goes down the left side, gets some good blocking from his receivers, makes one man miss. That was Bo Watson, and gets the touchdown to get Cedar Ridge on the scoreboard.
It's a prime example of it does not matter what level you play in high school. If you can play, the colleges are going to find you. You mentioned he's got an offer to Lyon College there in Batesville in Northeast Arkansas. Got a chance to go play on Saturdays.
You know, you go back, it was that onside kick. The failed attempt didn't go 10 yards. It's just set them up in prime territory inside their opponent's 50-yard line.
Obviously, the score bug tied to the game clock here at the stadium, so still some score issues. It is 6-0 Cedar Ridge. As they're set to kick off, and maybe our first look at the Bears starting lineup. Kicks fielded inside the 15. That's Maines. Griffin Maines tripped up from behind, though, inside the 25-yard line. Great job by the Cedar Ridge cover team.
An outstanding tackle in the open field prevents a bigger play from happening. Woodlawn's going to have to take over way back. You talk about field position. They're going to start at the 24. Cedar Ridge started their drive in their opponent's territory, so a big difference on the special teams already.
So Woodlawn's going to turn the reins over to Ethan Saylor. Plays a little bit of quarterback, plays running back, plays receiver. He's done a little bit of everything for the Bears this year. Talk about 167 carries, almost 1,900 yards on the ground. They're running straight forward. The ball might have came out late, but they're saying they was down by contact, just like Cedar Ridge did. One play from Woodlawn, already picked up the first down.
Ace Culliford on the carry. You can already see it. Two different types of offenses. And while Cedar Ridge may want to spread you out a little bit, Woodlawn's going to pack it in. They're going to play physical football and just sometimes give it to Ace. He's got 343 yards rushing this year. Griffin Maines, their main running back, are at 1,500 yards. You look at Saylor at quarterback with 1,800 yards and Maines with 1,500 yards. That's they're over 3,400 combined yards.
Low snap handled in the backfield and nowhere to go. Bottled up back there in loss of a big yardage. Cedar Ridge's defense rallies to the football. Austin Patch led the way. A big loss for the Bears.
Saylor was doing everything he could to break the tackle, and he ran into his own man there. And if he gets past him, he may be able to make a little something out of nothing. I thought maybe he would just try to throw it away at some point, but he kept just trying to break tackles and make something happen.
It's a good look at Coach Doug Means, head coach at Woodlawn. He's kind of bounced around the South, coached in Georgia, and also in Southern Arkansas as well. Came over from Magnolia, where he was an assistant coach a season ago. That one not going anywhere. It picks up maybe 3 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and long coming up for the Bears after the tough snap on first down cost them to lose nearly a dozen yards.
Had a couple of guys there for Cedar Ridge right there, filling the hole, making sure he couldn't bounce it outside, nothing in the middle. Good job from Cedar Ridge playing quality defense.
So big stop upcoming potentially for Cedar Ridge. That's 3rd and 14 for Woodlawn in this power running game. Another high snap, handoff to Maines. Maines trying to get something going right side, bounces around, coming back this way. A lot of Cedar Ridge blue in front of him, though, and he's dropped back near the original line of scrimmage. Pankey there.
Dawson Ingles for Cedar Ridge. We saw the quarterback, Jonas Elms, a little earlier make a tackle in the hole. He almost got him right there, and he bounces it outside and can't get to the sideline. They'll have to punt.
So 4th and maybe call it 8.5. They're checking with the sideline.
Yeah, they are.
not an automatic punt. At least doesn't look like it right now. So they're having to keep everything on the sideline. Play clock, score, everything. Woodlawn drops back to pass. Got a receiver in the flat. Overshoots his target. He was trying to find the tight end, Bo Watson, in the flats, but couldn't get it to him. We're about 3 minutes into the first quarter. Cedar Ridge offense scores. Cedar Ridge defense gets a stop, and they've got the football back for the offense as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Tell me, have you ever truly been in love?
Once.
What happened?
You are an excellent detective.
The world has changed. We need to change with it.
This is the place to meet the right people.
You must have hope. You cannot live without hope.
Coming soon to Arkansas PBS.
You know, I think sports are really big to a lot of people, and because it's an important part of our fabric in our community. And the one good thing about what I've seen is it's high quality production. You know, you think of the small communities all over Arkansas, it's a big deal that they can turn on the TV or DVR or whatever and know they're going to get a quality product. And so I think it just expands the focus of what PBS is doing. You know, Arkansas PBS is doing a great job, and I think it's part of education.
It's primetime on your time. Get more of your primetime favorites each weekday starting at 1:30 following our PBS Kids programs. Catch up on all the programs you love, including Exploring Arkansas, Nature, Antiques Roadshow, Arkansas Week, British Favorites, Mysteries, and more, beginning at 1:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. See the full schedule and all the ways to watch at myarkansaspbs.org/watch.
Cedar Ridge has the football. 8:06 left here in the first quarter. They've also got a 6-0 lead as their defense forces a 4-and-out. Turnover on down has the Timberwolves in plus territory again. Elms drops back to pass. Now he's going to tuck it and run. A lot of white jerseys in front of him. Runs to a couple, but he's finally dumped just across the 35. Call it the 34-yard line, but again, solid yardage on first down. Timberwolves moving the ball.
Yeah, you can see his athletic ability, just the way he sees the field, makes guys miss right there. Made another miss, took a big lick, but he still picked up about 5 yards. Ethan Saylor, little quarterback-on-quarterback hit right there, right?
If you're going to play 8-man football, you're going to have to do more than just play one position, both sides of the football. You've seen the sidelines a couple times already in the broadcast. Not a lot of extra bodies on either side, and that's why they're playing 8-man football in the first place.
Almost got him to jump off sides again. Elms with over 40 yards rushing already after one complete drive.
Helms keeps it. He's got some open space. Got a first down, finally dropped at the 25-yard line, so the option reads working for Cedar Ridge. Another first down on the ground.
Very impressive. Just sees the field so well. Keeps it, follows his blocker, had 2 blocks, gets into the open field. Couldn't make Saylor miss. That's two tackles in a row for Saylor from his safety spot.
It's been all Elms. He's the only Timberwolf to carry the football up to this point. Cash Martin's the second leading rusher for Cedar Ridge, almost 400 yards on the season. Elms drops back to pass, hits his receiver in the flat, makes a man miss inside the 20, inside the 15, cuts back across, finally dropped inside the 10, down to the 6, maybe the 5 is Dawson Ingalls.
It was just a great play call. He had 2 blockers in front of him and 2 guys to block. They got both blocks, and there was nobody left for him to tackle until the safety can get over to get him. They finally bring him down at about the 5-yard line.
Timberwolves are in business. The offense is clicking on all cylinders early. The elements not bothering Cedar Ridge up to this point. First and goal from just outside the 5.
Yeah, Elms has been pretty much perfect. He's 2 for 2 passing, and he's ran the ball 4 times. They're going to actually say that was a rush. That was a lateral, so that was going to be like a long handoff.
Elms down at the 1. He was battling for the goal line, but they're going to rule him just shy. So picks up 5 all the way down inside the 1.
Back to that last play. It was just a little miscommunication.
Yep.
Woodlawn didn't get lined up right. There's 3 receivers over there, but only 2 defenders.
So the name of the game in 8-man football, spread you out and take advantage if you don't go with them. But everybody's going to be piled into the box here. 2nd and goal from inside the 1. Direct snap, easy, walk-in touchdown. Jonas Elms, make it 2.
Elms just waited for his blockers, found a hole, sticks his head in there, crosses the goal line, dives in. Pretty easy score for Cedar Ridge.
The Wolves have certainly made it look easy on their first 2 possessions. We're not even 7 minutes into the contest, and they've already found their way to the end zone twice, but they've also been set up twice thanks to a short field.
First time it was the onside kick, then the turnover on downs.
Pass not going to get there, so a second straight 2-point conversion that goes by the wayside, but Cedar Ridge has a 12-0 lead. Woodlawn's got to find an answer, Wes.
He got a little pressure on the quarterback that time, made him rush his throw a little bit. You'll see the pressure come from the inside. This is the actual touchdown run. Pressure stops it, 12-0 your score. We'll take a break, more first quarter action when we come back. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
I want to give you the best life I can.
I've got the best life.
Brush her down, Jimmy.
Like this?
That's it.
I'll never grow tired of seeing it.
Animals all want the same thing, a home and love.
Absolutely glorious.
Coming soon to Arkansas PBS.
Woodlawn's got the kickoff, but they're dropped again inside the 30. The second time we've seen the Cedar Ridge cover team get down the field and make the play and forcing Woodlawn to go the length of the football field. And if you're Coach Doug Means and company, you haven't lost a game all season, you really rolled through the schedule. This is the first real sign of adversity.
Well, the Timberwolves cover team has been awesome. That time they stop them at the 26-yard line, force them to go 74 yards down the field. Stop in play. I don't know if it's a clock issue again. It was a little injury.
Yep.
They're making sure the Cedar Ridge player could get off the field. That was Wesley Horton. He's jogging on the sideline. I think he's okay.
Maybe an equipment malfunction. Let's take a look at the offensive starting lineup for Woodlawn. We've talked about Saylor and Maines, but Culliford, number 72, a typical running back number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Green lines up at tight end. Got to try to find something going in the running game, and it's not there. What a defensive play. Knifing through the offense. Who else? Jonas Elms makes a play on the other side of the football.
Well, they were trying to follow Culliford through the hole. Big number 72 leading the way, and just able to just ran right by and did not pick up Elms.
Got to try to find a way to get Griffin Maines going. 1,500-yard rusher on the season for Woodlawn, but nothing going for the Bears early on. Try to get it going through the passing game, and they finally pick up the first down. Nice connection to Matthew Green, catches one in the flat, and that'll move the chains.
Green with only 9 catches coming into the game. Before a move for a touchdown, it's pretty good percentage. He catches it, it's usually a touchdown, but that was a nice catch, kind of down by his knees, all hands. Good play to pick up the first down for Woodlawn.
Maybe that'll settle things down for Woodlawn. Ethan Saylor's first completion as well. Line up 2 receivers to each side. Speed motion. Pass, that was well behind, though. Ethan Saylor could not hit his target to Bo Watson on the slants. Let's take a look at the defense. The Winrock starting lineup for Cedar Ridge. Horton, Percy, and Patch across the middle. Martin Cifuentes, your 2 linebackers. Ingalls, Pankey, and Fears make up the back end of this Cedar Ridge defense.
Well, they didn't list Jonas Elms as a starter on defense, but he's been out there the entire time. He wasn't on the 2 deep as a starter, but you know when you got a player like that, you're going to put him in on a state championship game. Maybe he's not a starter during the regular part of the year. You get to a state championship game, you're not coming off the field.
Aiden Powell had to be sent off there, offensive lineman for Woodlawn. 2nd and 10. They fake the handoff and the speed sweep, trying to find the edge, and he does. Saylor's got some running room across the midfield stripe. Another first down for Woodlawn.
I'll tell you what, it was a little RPO with the end around. Decided not to hand it off, even though the defensive end was standing there looking at him, but he was like, you know what, I can outrun this defensive end. And sure enough, that's what he did. Beat him to the corner, just gave him a little forearm shuck, gets to the corner, picks up the first down.
Piercy could not keep contain on it. Side allows the quarterback to the edge, and Woodlawn's got their first drive brewing. 1st and 10 at the 45 of Cedar Ridge. This time they're going to hand it off on the speed motion. Tried to make a defender miss, but couldn't. Griffin Maines hasn't been able to get anything going. They're going to say he wasn't down at first contact, so he fights across the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a half a yard.
Dawson Ingles, we'll take a look at the replay. Looked like he got it missed. Gets up, hops up, makes the tackle. Actually, that was Pouch. Austin Pouch gets up, makes the tackle.
Did a nice job of landing on top of the defender. No elbow or knee was down, so he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Call it a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 now for Woodlawn. Creeping up on the 3-minute mark here of the first quarter. Neither one of these teams have played for a state championship.
We've already seen multiple different looks from Woodlawn.
Another quarterback keeper for Saylor, trying to win the one-on-one battle. He does, but not a lot doing there, as Austin Pouch uses the sideline as an extra defender and holds that to a gain of 2.
Well, that was a pretty good job of Pouch, just standing his ground. Just let Saylor do a little juking and jiving, and I'll just stay here and wait for you and get you out of bounds.
You know, looking at the teams from our vantage point, you can see that Woodlawn has a clear size advantage up front. But the quickness and the athleticism of the Cedar Ridge defense has really caused Woodlawn some issues. Now, this is the second time we've seen Aiden Powell, big number 70, check out for Woodlawn. And now Coach Doug Means is wanting an explanation of why that keeps happening.
He's going over the bench. Looks like maybe he's talking to an equipment guy.
Yep.
Maybe some blood, maybe. They're having to tape him up.
Saylor drops the pass. Plenty of time. Now the pocket's breaking down. He's got to get rid of the football. Avoids 2 defenders. Cedar Ridge player loses his helmet. Saylor lets one fly into coverage. Could not be caught. It's a great job of being able to defend in the secondary for 7-8 seconds. But Saylor does a tremendous job of keeping that play alive.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for Woodlawn and Saylor, he had a receiver break wide open right here, but he felt the pressure, couldn't get rid of it, and so he circles back the other way, and when he comes back the other way, he can't throw it all the way across the field 80 yards, so that's the only receiver he has in the area.
So Wesley Horton's going to have to check out for at least one play. He was the Cedar Ridge player who lost his helmet. Also a Woodlawn player lost a shoe, so all kinds of equipment on the field here at War Memorial. 4th down and 6 now coming up for Woodlawn. Circle this one on your play sheet at home. This is a big play for the Bears. Saylor looking deep, pocket breaking down. Saylor goes around right ends, tries to find a receiver, just throws it away. Throw it away on 4th down to Saylor, and that's another turnover on downs. The Cedar Ridge defense stiffens at the right moment.
It was Pouch again. I mean, Pouch was kind of spying him. He dropped back in coverage. And then when he saw Saylor roll to his right, here he comes. And he forces him to throw out. He may have tried to be hitting 45, but it was just well over his head. Looking for Bo Watson.
So this is the worst starting position for Cedar Ridge, but it's still outside their own 40-yard line. Timberwolves have a 12-0 lead 9 minutes into this first quarter, and a chance to add to it here.
A lot of times in 8-man football, it's about who can get stops.
That's right.
Well, Cedar Ridge has already gotten a couple of stops.
Sometimes a couple stops is all it takes. That trick play is blown up from the start, but a couple missed tackles in the backfield. Dawson Ingles has got a pathway on the far sideline. Looked like it was going to be a loss of 5. Ends up being a gain of almost 20.
That's missed tackles. That's the story. Woodlawn has missed several tackles already in this game, and Cedar Ridge on defense has done a very good job of making those tackles in space. Man, you know, and think about this, with 8-man, there are fewer guys to make the tackle.
Right.
If 1 or 2 guys miss the tackle, there's just fewer guys left.
Yeah, we saw it last year in the state championship game. Midland taking on Strong. They looked like they were there to make a play, 1 broken tackle, and you're going 65 yards just because the rest of the defense, well, it's not coming. First and 10 for the Timberwolves. Just outside the 40.
A little tighter formation.
Change things up. A true tight end in the formation. That's Horton on the right side of the offense. Got a flag and took too much time. Going to be a delay of game.
Looked like they were ready and then changed the play. And when they changed the play, it took them too long to get everybody on the same page. And the play clock ran out. Maybe the only thing they've done wrong so far. That and the 2-point conversions.
That's right. First penalty on Cedar Ridge up to this point. Both teams have been penalized once for 5 yards. The Bears jumped offside earlier in the quarter. So first and 15 now for the Timberwolves. They're going to pack everybody into the box, 2 in the backfield with Elms. Elms rolling left, throwback to the far side. He's got a couple blockers. Cash Martin's in space, got a lead blocker. Cash Martin to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, Timberwolves. The throwback halfback screen, and Cash Martin does what he needs to and takes one to the house.
Roll to the left, bring everybody over on that defense to that side of the field, throw it back, had 2 blockers, really just needed 1, and he outraced everybody else. A bad angle taken, a good down the field block there, just slows him up enough so that Cash can get into the end zone.
It looked like Woodlawn had that play blown up, had a defender over there, but instead they throw the pass in front of that one defender, and Martin does the rest. So it's 18-0 Cedar Ridge. Chance to add to it. Going for 2. Elms going to keep it around left side. Got a couple blocks out in front. Crosses the goal line. 2-point conversion is good, and Cedar Ridge has jumped out to an early 20-0 lead here in the first.
That was another chance. Open field, make the tackle, but the 2-point conversion is good. Here's a look at the big touchdown run, or the pass, the run after the completion. And Cash gets it in. Long distance. Cash Martin, he's been scoring on the ground during the regular season. This time through the air. It's 20-0 Cedar Ridge. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports. It is turning into a Cedar Ridge rout. It is time for Woodlawn to score. This is huge. They got to get some points on this drive.
You know, Michael Wright was the player that I mentioned for Woodlawn who was in position to really blow that play up in the backfield, whether it was on purpose or not. It looks great in the box score tomorrow, but the pass goes out in front of him. He can't make the play. Martin goes the distance for the touchdown, officially ruled a 47-yard touchdown catch and run. And 20-0. If you're Woodlawn here, Wes, and I guess you got to rely on the run game. Of course, there's a ton of time left here in the contest, but they have certainly taken an early blow. So, Maines does not handle the kickoff well, and again, Cedar Ridge is going to make Woodlawn march the length of the field as Maines taken down at 24.
Woodlawn may want to consider putting 2 guys back. It's a line drive kick, and it's hard for him to get over and field it before it hits the ground. If you got 2 guys back there, then it gives you an opportunity to make the field a little bit smaller so somebody can catch that in the air. Because it is a line drive, once you catch it, you got some room to run, but it's just taking a while to gather that in after the bounce.
Inside 2-minute mark here in the first quarter, Woodlawn still looking to get something going, and maybe it's the ground game. They hand it off the right side and picks up 5, still moving the pile. Call it 7 yards there on first down. That's a good way to try to flip the momentum of this contest.
You know, Ace Culliford probably had their best run earlier in the game. I know they want Ace going north-south and not so much east-west. Once he finally got his shoulders turned, Culliford picked up some nice yards for him. That's his second carry of the game. First carry went for 12 yards. That one went for about 7, so they found a little something with the big back.
Go right back to him on the fullback give, right up the middle, running through arm tackles. Culliford moving the chains. That's a good 1-2 punch from the big man, number 72 in the backfield. And Woodlawn's out near the 40.
Well, they're trying to take the ball away from him. Instead of tackling, you can watch, they're just pulling at the ball. That's a big guy to pull that away from. And while they were pulling, he just kept going backwards, and picking up more yards.
Again, you can see the size advantage for Woodlawn. He's smart, advantageous to run behind the big boys up front. Bears, though, better hurry. Play clock's already down to 10. We're inside the final minute of the first quarter. Cedar Ridge lands the first haymaker. Maine's got it. Some running room over right side. Uses the stiff arm to the 45. Ducks back inside for a few more. He's going to be close to a Bear first down.
That size advantage, you'd think they'd want to run more. I was about to say in between the tackles, but there aren't any tackles. But you would think you would want to run inside the guards, right?
Yep.
Maybe up the A gap, but they strung that outside. It became a productive play. They do give him the first down.
First big run from Griffin Maines. He does pick up 10 in the first down. Inside 30 seconds. Another give. Maines coming around left side. Got some space. Cross midfield. Finally pushed out of bounds at the 45. It's going to be a late hit on Cedar Ridge. This is going to push the football all the way to the 30. The first big mistake by Cedar Ridge is going to be 15 free yards for Woodlawn.
Yeah, Wesley Horton got him out of bounds, but once he got him out of bounds, he slung him to the ground, and the official was right there. You see, he's out. All right,
Yep.
It's bang, bang. It's close.
Well, and also, too, you got to remember, you see the big white box on the sideline. Of course, these guys have been playing on this width of a field all season long. Sometimes you think, oh, maybe that's just a hash. It's tough to, when you see that big white on the far side, to slow down.
15-yard penalty is going to move the ball right around the 31-yard line. So good response from Woodlawn.
So officially going to be marked at the 31-yard line. By far the deepest the Bears have gone into Cedar Ridge territory. 20 seconds on the game clock. Quarterback keeper, Saylor, big hole on the right side. He's got another first down. Saylor's at the 15 to the 10, 5, and dropped inside the 5. And it's going to be first and goal for the Bears.
Nice little 30-yard run, 29-yard run. They're going to mark him down at the 2, making guys miss. Spinning out of a tackle, broke 2 tackles, and finally brought down by the legs at the 2-yard line. But they found a little something. They went big. You know, I said running in between the tackles, but they're bringing in a couple of tight ends, and so it looks like a traditional formation.
They're going to try to beat the quarter. Run right ahead for the big man. He powers in. Touchdown, Woodlawn. Ace Culliford from a couple yards.
Culliford only had 5 touchdowns on the season. I would think he would have a lot more down there. That's just too easy. You hand it to that big guy, you can watch him just rumble across it. I thought they had him stopped, but he is hard to bring down.
A lot of teams might have let that first quarter clock run out and handle things at the start of the second quarter, but I like the idea of, hey, let's keep this momentum going. We've got them on their heels, use this power run game, and they punch it in with zeros on the clock.
When you think about it, most of these guys are going both ways. So you don't want to give them a rest. Go ahead and let's go. Let's go. Let's push the tempo.
Power play to the left side. That's going to be a walk-in 2-point conversion for Griffin Maines. Woodlawn answers back. This one far from over. Cedar Ridge leads it 20-8, but the Bears showing some life as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
This month on Arkansas PBS.
The saddle is the symbol of the whole myth of the cowboy. The work of our hands is informing the work of our mind.
From the English National Ballet, treat yourself to the music and the magic of Nutcracker on Great Performances.
This stirring program celebrates the birth of the Savior of the world with music from the Tabernacle Choir and Orchestra at Temple Square.
Only on Arkansas PBS.
Join the ranks of corporate sponsors and business partners at Arkansas PBS. Your support will shine a light on your business with recognition on air and at major community events like Family Day. Plus, our viewers love the businesses that underwrite their favorite programs. Showcase your company while making a meaningful impact on lifelong learning. Partner with Arkansas PBS to build a brighter future for our state.
This month on Arkansas PBS.
We think they may be Benjamin Greenleaf, but I'm not sure of that. My mother-in-law was given to hyperbole.
I'm Dick Van Dyke. Remember.
There's no limit to his talent.
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Look who's rocking around American Masters. Brenda Lee.
Only on Arkansas PBS.
Start of the second quarter coming up in the 8-man state championship game. Let's take a look at the Arkansas Quiz Bowl Association trivia question. What's the state record for most rushing touchdowns in a single game?
Oh, in a single game? I thought you were about to go in a season. And I was like, before this season or now?
Wait,
in
for a couple other games this weekend. We may see that question.
Okay.
But for a single game, what's the record? We'll let you ponder on that for a few moments.
Wow.
It's a lot more than you might think. So the Bears finally strike last play of the first quarter. They'll try an onside kick right at the middle of the wedge for Cedar Ridge, but Wesley Horton, right place at the right time, recovers that onside kick. Woodlawn's going to onside kick it pretty much every time out, so it's going to be a great field position for Cedar Ridge as they take over on their own 49-yard line.
Well, that's going to be a key. They got to get one of those or get a stop, but you would love to steal a possession at this point in the game and get the ball back to your offense, especially after you just wore out Cedar Ridge a little bit with that drive. It would have been ideal to pick up that onside kick right there, get your offense back out there and try to make this a one-possession game. But now it's just in the hands of your defense. Go and stop Cedar Ridge for the first time. They haven't stopped them yet. Cedar Ridge 3 for 3 on touchdown drives.
So Cedar Ridge gave up the first touchdown to Woodlawn. We'll see what the offense has to do to answer. It's been a heavy dose of Jonas Elms up to this point. It's a mishandling of the handoff there, and then Cedar Ridge is dumped in the backfield.
That's a good start. You get a negative play on first down, a loss of 4. Jonas Elms had a big first quarter. He had 53 yards rushing, and he was 2 for 2. Throwing the ball for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. He also scored 2 touchdowns in the first half, so a no-brainer so far. Jonas Elms with 2 touchdowns rushing and 1 touchdown passing.
There's a good look of the architect of this attack for Cedar Ridge, Scott Morgan. Again, their only loss on the season came to Subiaco Academy, the team that won the club-level 8-man championship. Another bad snap. Elms nowhere to go, dropped in the backfield, and this drive is going the wrong direction for the Timberwolves.
Matthew Green gets in there for Woodlawn, his 6th sack of the season. He is the leading tackler for Woodlawn. Came in the game with 71 tackles, 22 tackles for a loss, so you know he's in the backfield a lot. He almost lost the hold of Jonas Elms, but grabbed a hold of his knees and pulled him down to the ground.
Yeah, big Aiden Powell, number 70, was already in the backfield as well, so nowhere to go for Elm. And a long way to go, 3rd and 18 for the Timberwolves. Chance for the Woodlawn defense to get off the field. Quick hitch into the flat, breaks a tackle. This is Fears breaks another tackle. Fears across the 40. Fears inside the 30, doing it all himself. What a play by Colby Fears. 3rd and 18, and he picks up a whole lot more.
That's the story so far for Woodlawn. If there's one thing they got to fix, it's their tackling. They have missed so many tackles, and I think they missed 3 on that play, and one of the players missed the tackle twice. Had a chance right here to bring him down. Teammate couldn't get him, but Griffin Mays gets back up, has a chance to tackle him again, missed him again, and he picks up another 10 yards or so before Maines finally gets him on the 3rd try.
38 yards officially for the Elms to Colby Fears, all the way down to the Woodlawn 22-yard line. There's a Bear defender down on the field, but when it's 3rd and 18, Wes, they need a big play, and they come up with one.
Well, it's a backbreaker, too, for Woodlawn. I mean, you did everything right. We're just talking about this defense needs a stop, and you get a negative play on first down. You get a negative play on second down. You force a 3rd and very long, and a couple missed tackles later, you're giving up a 30-plus yard play. Officially, what they go for, 38 yards, and you give up the first down.
Tate Jacks, the sophomore for Woodlawns, a Bear who is down for about a moment. He's getting some help walking off the field. Hopefully he can get back there out on the field, but that's just a backbreaker for the Woodlawn defense. You think you're going to get off and the field on 3rd and long, but instead the big play, because again, as you just mentioned, Wes, the broken tackles allowed Cedar Ridge to not only pick up a first down, but almost 40.
You learn a lot about the Woodlawn defense here. It hurts. It's just demoralizing. Can they stand up here, find some way to get off the field?
Elms on the quarterback keeper around the left side across the 20, but not before he's surrounded and finally taken down by a host of Bears. But again, just positive yardage on first down. Picks up 5.
Good push from his blockers. Really, he's not hit until he picks up 5 yards.
Elms 3 for 3 through the air, 92 yards. That carry puts him over 50 yards on the ground. 3 total touchdowns. You don't vote for the MVP in the second quarter, but if you did, Jonas Elms might be on your ballot. Play action pass, but this one's going to be blown dead. It's going to be a legal procedure on Cedar Ridge. Going to back him up 5.
Man, that hurt them. He may have walked in on that touchdown. They were doing almost like a little bootleg. The receiver, if he doesn't want to throw to him, the receiver can go block the only guy out there, and Elms could probably walk it in.
Moving a little bit too early, but that did have the makings of a big play to that far side. Instead, back them up, so it's going to be 2nd and called 11 for the Timberwolves. At the 23. Second penalty against Cedar Ridge. Correction, 3rd penalty, and the personal foul as well. So Elms has a couple Timberwolves in the backfield with him. Play fake, looking for the running back on the wheels. Got it. If he could have led Dawson Ingles, that would have been a walk-in touchdown, but instead he throws one on the line. Ingles does a nice job of going down to make the play, but that one could have been a whole lot bigger.
Yeah, just a little bit low. He also had his tight end coming across the middle wide open. He put his hand up, but he was already looking at his running back and had made up his mind he was going with the wheel route. Cedar Ridge attempted 133 passes on the season, so they're not afraid to go to the air despite the amount of success they've had on the ground. Pretty balanced attack for the 8-man squad. Cedar Ridge again going to go to the air. Elms, pressure from behind, but gets it out to his receiver again. It's Colby Fears. Outside the 10-yard line, but it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 11. Timberwolves continue to move the football. He had Horton again. Horton blocks, then he gets up, and he runs across the middle. He's wide open, but by that time, Elms was kind of scrambling to his right. Never looked back across the middle. Horton had his hands up again all by himself in the middle of the field, but he wasn't too upset. They pick up the first down.
Elms had a little pressure from his backside, rolled to the right, completed the pass to Fears, so it's 1st and 10. Just outside the 10. Cedar Ridge is 3 for 3 on scoring drives already, trying to make it 4 for 4. Elms rolls to his left, flag flies, that pass picked off. Picked off, Maines at the goal line. Maines, got another flag comes out. Maines pushed out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. We'll check the penalties, though. One came in before the turnover, the other after the interception.
The second one I know is going to be for holding on the return. The first one I couldn't see. I don't know if there was a little holding in the secondary or at the line of scrimmage.
So we're going to have to wait and see what the verdict is from our officiating crew, Todd Garrett and company. Again, the first flag came out before the turnover. The second one came out after the interception. Elms just delivered that pass too late across his body, and Maines made a tremendous play at the goal line.
The way Woodlawn's reacting, I think the first penalty is going to be on Cedar Ridge.
I think we're going to get our verdict right here.
We have a holding on offense, which results in 10-yard penalty back. It will be turned over to first down.
So it's going to be Woodlawn football. Holding on the offense was declined. The interception trumps that, but during the return of penalty, Bears are going to have the football after a huge play from Maines. Don't go anywhere. Woodlawn's making this one interesting. You're watching the Centennial Bank Sud Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
This month in Passport on the PBS app.
It's a stirring celebration with unforgettable music from the Tabernacle Choir and Orchestra at Temple Square.
This is Gospel Messiah.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS app.
My family has long been a supporter of Arkansas PBS. It has been part of my whole life experience. Arkansas PBS fills a space in Arkansas education, Arkansas culture, Arkansas news, and it does so with a neutral and empathetic voice, and it meets people wherever they are. It's vital.
This month in Passport on the PBS app.
Where better to have a family Christmas than the Highlands of Scotland?
Mary!
Cheers. Christmas is my favourite time of year, and the real highlight is the food.
It's kind of like a food variety show.
You want to be on it? You are right now.
Oh.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS app.
Look at the answer to that trivia question. We asked you, what's the state record for the most rushing touchdowns in one single contest? The number, I told you, it's bigger than you think.
I'm going to go 9.
Jeffrey Jones from Woodlawn in 2013. Derek Graham, Nashville, 2008. And Kendrick Smith from Hughes in 2006. 9 trips to the end zone in one game. Sources tell me that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's 60. Well, I guess it could be only 54
points by yourself?
Yeah, that's impressive. Hopefully they were the player of the week each time.
No doubt about that. Woodlawn's got the football after the big play from Maine. Saylor rolls to his right, doesn't get rid of it, and he's going to try to throw it out of the bounds. Did it get back to the line of scrimmage? Maybe the biggest question mark.
It did not. Yeah, he's standing on about the 16-yard line. He needed to throw it to the 19. So they're going to drop a flag right there.
You got to believe that's going to be the verdict. They're going to confer, though, make sure they get the call right. And the guys holding the extra footballs on the sidelines in the way, and there comes the flag. Wesley on top of it right there. That ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Even though Saylor was well out of the pocket, the ball goes out of bounds about 3, if not 4 yards shy of the line of scrimmage. And that's why the penalty comes.
It was a heads-up play. You just needed to toss it forward a couple more yards. They were looking to go deep. Woodlawn was looking for the big play, but give Cedar Ridge credit. They were all over it, double-teamed the receiver, so there was just nowhere to go.
We have 10 for grounding. Offense. Ball in on the line of scrimmage. As the distance goes, ball down, take down.
Arkansas PBS is the home for high school sports. If you love seeing these high school sports championships live and also on demand, please consider making a gift to Arkansas PBS today. Visit myarpbs.org/sports donate. Simple to do.
So after the penalty, also a loss of down, forever to go for the Bears. Saylor going to be a quarterback keeper right up the middle. Another flag comes flying out. He's going to be dropped to the 12-yard line. But we'll check the flag, and it's in the area that generally goes against the offense.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's going to be a holding call, and that's just going to dig a deeper hole for Woodlawn. They got the stop that they needed. Now they need the offense to come up with the big play. It's going to be second and really long. They were on the 6. They'll be half the distance. They'll move it, back to the 3.
It might be a chance for Cedar Ridge to decline this penalty. They are. In fact, that is the case because it was 2nd and 23. Now it's going to be 3rd and 16 or 17. The penalty, you can see the hold right in the middle. That one's obvious right at the point of attack.
That was Wesley Horton, who they were trying to get the ball to on the interception, playing on the defensive line, and grabbed him by the shoulder pads, wouldn't let go.
I think because of the penalty would have only been 3 yards. That's why you decline that if you're Cedar Ridge. To the air go the Bears. That's going to pick up 7, maybe 8 on the slant.
That's a nice throw. I mean, he hit him in stride. He took his little step, 3-step drop, 1-2, actually 2-step drop, bam, out of his hands, right to the receiver. Lets him put his head down, protect himself.
Matthew Green on the receiving end. Now obvious punting territory. It's 4th and 9.
Is it obvious?
Own 20.
These days?
It's true.
He does have a deep drop.
Nobody back to return for Cedar Ridge. They're going to make sure the ball is punted, and it is indeed done that. And nice effort there from the right leg. Does take a Cedar Ridge bounce, goes directly to the east. And the Timberwolves are going to take over on their own 34-yard line. But Woodlawn could not take advantage of the big turnover at the goal line.
Tell you what, if the Woodlawn coaches were watching, that time they let the receiver just go down like he was going down the punt. Nobody went with it. You could just hold, let him go, and throw it to him deep because there was nobody. They just let him run, and nobody ran with him.
Put that one in your cap for later. Maybe sneak out the fake punt later on if you need to call upon it.
Yeah, I was watching, and they just let him release. Nobody ran with him. He was past the nearest guy in no time, and I was like, man, he is wide open. You could throw that to him right now.
Cedar Ridge racked up 188 yards of total offense, 101 for Woodlawn. Cedar Ridge going to add to that one here. A lot of running room on the near side. Elms tiptoes down the sideline, makes a couple of defenders miss. Elms across the 40, dropped it to 36, but not before another big gain for the Timberwolves.
I hate to harp on it, but it's just missed tackles. They have guys there. Now, that play design was great. There are 2 blockers out. They did a good job of picking up the blocks, but you got to make the tackle there. Then you got to make the tackle there. Missed 2 tackles, and just that what was going to be a nice play turns into a big play.
Another big one, 30 yards for the quarterback Elms, and just like that, Cedar Ridge is in striking distance again.
Elms was at 51 yards before that play. He's going to be well over 80.
9 carries, 81 yards, couple scores already, couple runs of 20 or more. Handoff right up the middle. Finally wrestled to the ground. I believe that's Cash Martin, and a late flag comes in. I wonder if there's going to be 15 tacked onto this. Might have got a hold of a face mask.
I thought they had the face mask, but, you know, it was tough to see up here. But they had a face up there around, or a hand up there around the face mask.
Both teams have been penalized 3 times, at least accepted penalties. We'll have to wait and see what the call is here, but either way, it was a 7-yard gain for Martin. Officiating crew still discussing things. They're going to mark this one off. And now here's going to be the call from Todd Garrett. Maybe.
Good ball. After the play. First and foul. Woodlawn. As the distance goes, it'll be first down.
So a big one. So a post-play penalty against Woodlawn is going to mark this one off half the distance to the goal. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves at the 25.
All right, here's a look at it. Let's see. They did not have the face mask. They get him down. What happens next?
They might have ruled that forward progress was stopped and maybe a late hit comes in.
Whistle blown.
Yeah, I don't know. Woodlawn takes a timeout. I said the 25. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 15 for Cedar Ridge. They turned it over the last time they got down here. Woodlawn's defense needs to stiffen again.
Yeah, it was the only mistake that Elms has made. He was rolling left. He had his man Horton wide open. Once again, 3rd play in a row that I was watching Horton. He was wide open coming across the field and just took a little too long to get the throw off. And while he's running to his left, couldn't put a whole lot on it. That's a difficult throw for a right-handed quarterback running to his left. But if he could have gotten rid of it 2 steps earlier, Horton should catch that and celebrate a touchdown. Should have been an easy play.
Take a look inside the box score. Elms is already over 100 yards passing, 5 of 6 for 104. At 81 more on the ground for Jonas. He's having a big day. 225 yards already in a quarter and a half for this Timberwolf offense.
Man, you remember one of the plays, I think it was the long one to Ingles. They ruled it a lateral instead of a throw, or he would have had even more passing yards.
That's exactly right. The touchdown pass was a 47-yard swing to the running back Martin, who did the rest. So it's 1st and 10 for Cedar Ridge at the 15. Looking to add to their 20-8 lead here in the second. Bad snap, and Elms picks it up. Tries to get something going left side. Nothing doing, though. Right in place, right time. Matthew Green makes the play.
Yeah, that's their leading tackler, and that was a very solid tackle. Defense is going to have to stiffen here. Try to keep Cedar Ridge out of the end zone.
6.5 minutes left here in the first half in the 8-man state championship game. We got a stoppage to play, and I think we're going to get a sideline warning against Woodlawn.
You got all that extra space over there. Just get back a little bit.
You know how coaches are. You can say, hey, coach, you can stand out here on the numbers, and they're going to stand inside the numbers. They got to be a little bit closer to the action. Doesn't matter. They've got 40 yards of real estate behind them. They want to be closer. So no harm done there, just a warning. So 2nd and 9 now for Cedar Ridge as they wind the clock. Change the formation. Still plenty of time, 12 on the play clock. They get it off. Elms goes left side. Not a whole lot of running room there. A whole host of Bears makes the play, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Just don't know if I would run at their leading tackler, Matthew Green. That was a quarterback power following his running back, and Green stands up the running back and keeps him from cutting it to the outside, has to go back to the inside, and there were a whole host of teammates waiting for him. So, you know, that's 2 wins for the Woodlawn defense. They just got to get 2 more, try to get the ball back.
Obvious 4-down territory. It'll be 3rd and 9 for Cedar Ridge. Interesting formation for the Timberwolves here. Direct snap. They're going to pitch it back to Elms on the sweep. A lot of room to the 10. Flag comes out. He's dumped at the 5, but this one likely coming back as that one's in the area of holding.
Elms that time lined up as the running back. They bring in Horton, takes the snap. Horton pitches it to him. Elms using that speed to get to the outside. Good looking play, except for you got the wide receiver out there. I think that was Pouch blocking for him, and Pouch is going to get called for the hold.
That had the makings of looking of a 6-man football pass. I don't know if anybody's watched 6-man football, but I'll describe that after the call. 6-man football in Texas, the individual who receives the snap cannot throw a forward pass. So a lot of times you'll have a running back receive the snap, then pitch it to your quarterback, and then they can throw a forward pass. It's basketball on a football field, and it's anarchy, to be quite honest.
Any thoughts of doing 6-man here?
No, I hope not. Troy Mitchell, our official statistician, would absolutely hate 6-man football. I'm quite certain of that. So 3rd and call it 13 now for Cedar Ridge. Elms looking downfield as bad snap blew this play up from the beginning, and he's thrown out of bounds. Great job of pursuit coming all the way over. Big 66. Dakota Campbell makes the play.
I'm guessing he didn't have him by the horse collar. He just had him by the back of the jersey. We'll get a good look at it right here. Yep.
Yeah.
That's just the back of the jersey, not the horse collar variety.
Absolute worst case scenario if you're a Cedar Ridge fan is the bad snap blows up that 3rd and long play, and now it's 4th and even longer.
There have been several bad snaps tonight.
So 4th and 21. They've got to get down inside the 5. Play clock now winding down. It's at 5. Cedar Ridge has to hurry. They get it off. Trick play is coming. Flea flicker to Ingles. He's looking right side, nowhere to go. Ingles looking for, creates things in the backfield, breaks a tackle, trying to reverse field again. That might be a horse collar, but no flag comes out, and a big stop for Woodlawn.
Cedar Ridge was asking for it. A couple of guys were right there. They're yelling, throw the flag, throw the flag. They thought it was a horse collar. There is no flag, so Woodlawn's going to get the stop that they desperately needed.
That was a slow developing play, as you could see it happening, at least from our vantage point, and Woodlawn was not going to fall for that on 4th and 21. And the Bears defense have come up with 2 huge red zone stops here in the second quarter.
Well, they were running the trick play, the end around to Elms, and Elms ran out down the field almost like going deep, but he was covered. They sniffed it out. The Bears were all over it, so there was nowhere to throw it.
Woodlawn now goes back to work. They're averaging 5 yards a carry. Well, it's not much doing there as Culliford's dropped after just a couple. So 2nd and 8 coming. We're now creeping towards the 4:30 mark here in the first half.
I'll tell you what, they're doing a good job of stringing Ace Culliford a little bit wide. I know they want to get him a quick hitter just right up the middle and get the big boy going, but he's having to go left, he's having to go right. Makes it a little easier to tackle him.
Saylor on the quarterback sweep to the right side. He's up to the 35, but that's where he's going to be dropped. Coming over is Weston Cook, the defensive end, makes the play for Cedar Ridge, but awfully close to the first down marker. They're going to say he's just shy was Saylor, so 3rd and inches upcoming. Inside 4 minutes to play. This is a big drive for Woodlawn, you feel like. They're going to get the football to start the second half, so if they can double dip, score here before the half, get the football coming out, this could be a completely different contest. Saylor on the quarterback keeper right ahead, lost the football. That ball came out. Cedar Ridge's defense is forced to turn over.
That's huge. They followed the big guy, Culliford, in there. Easy first down, but then Saylor has it. I think Saylor's still down.
Colby Fierce makes the play. He recovers the football, but you're exactly right. Saylor's still down. And that's one injury that Woodlawn cannot afford to have. Colby Fierce pounces on the loose football. And what a big play. You felt like that drive from Woodlawn was about to get going. They were leaning on the Cedar Ridge defense. But the ball just pops out and Fierce right place at the right time and makes the play. Good to see Saylor get up relatively quickly.
Second right ankle.
And needing a little bit of help walking off. Let's hope that the quarterback, Ethan Saylor, the junior for Woodlawn, is going to be okay.
Here's a look at it. We can see his right ankle and just popped it out. And I think on the tackle when they were bringing him down to the ground, his right ankle just kind of twisted. But let's look for the fumble. Just got a hand on it.
Yep. Weston Cook got in there, got a hand on it, jarred it free. So a big play for the Cedar Ridge defense. Comes up, but again, let's hope that Saylor's okay. He's a big reason why Woodlawn's playing in this championship game.
Let's hope they're hopeful they can just twist an ankle, tape it up, and get him back out there. But then you wonder about how effective he can be in the second half with the twisted ankle.
Well, especially as cold it is here inside War Memorial Stadium. It's below 40 degrees, and then halftime coming up. A chance to sit down. It could stiffen up on you. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves when we resume play. Get another player sent off to the sideline.
That's Horton again.
Yep. Looking like they got some bandages coming out on his left hand. Another injury. Another player cut off. Griffin Main's bleeding from his right elbow. That's what 8-man football's supposed to be. All about bloodied and bandaged, and he was the toughest man left.
Just missing the frozen tundra.
So 1st and 10 for the Timberwolves. Again, another drive starting in Woodland territory. Elms, quarterback sweep around the right side. This one's going to come back. There's another flag in the area of holding. A lot of running space there for Cedar Ridge, but likely because of the penalty.
Yeah, we're going to, looks like 24 for Cedar Ridge going to be called for the holding. I think it was 24, but he was over there on that right side. Woodlawn defender made a great job of when he was getting hold. He put both of his hands in the air, was trying to back away from him, but he was still getting grabbed, and it was a pretty obvious call.
They know this game's on TV. They're looking for that acting job. Just throw your hands up and gets the call. So it's going to be 1st and do some math here, about 16 or so for Cedar Ridge.
Got to get to the 36. They're on their own 48.
That's hard.
16.
So the penalties are kind of starting to pile up on both of these teams. Clock's winding. towards the 3-minute mark. Cedar Ridge trying to add to this 20-8 lead. Elms goes quarterback sweep to the left side, but nothing doing. Tracked down from behind. Bo Watson makes the play.
Bo a little slow getting up. He's feeling the effects of that tackle. I tell you what, you're right. He did chase him down, showed a little speed, and was able to keep that to about a 1-2 yard gain.
Second leading tackler on the season coming into the contest.
I'd like to see Woodlawn getting some penetration from their defensive line. Their defensive line's almost just standing there at the line of scrimmage and doing some reading. But with all these low snaps, bad snaps, if you get some penetration, you can get in there and get one of those.
The quarterback sweep to the right side. A lot of space over there for Elms. But he's dropped. Nice open field tackle made by a member of the secondary for Woodlawn. Credit Braden Jones for coming up and making that play. The sophomore might have saved a touchdown.
Yeah, very good blocking. Jonas just goes over the right side. And look, there's nobody there. You seal off the end, doubled him basically. Nobody's left. One defender. That is a good sure tackle. They needed that. Braden Jones with the tackle there for Woodlawn.
Third and call it 6 coming up now for the Timberwolves. Again, likely 4-down territory. Inside 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Trips to the far right. We saw this a couple times in the first quarter. Quarterback ran, went left, and Woodlawn is going to jump off sides.
Got him again. Go from 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 1.
It'll be a whole lot more manageable. We've seen Cedar Ridge line up in that bunch set to one side and run it to the other. I'm curious to see that was going to come there as well. So it's going to be 3rd and less than 1. Call it 2 feet, if that. So 3rd and short coming up for the Timberwolves. The clock winds. We're at minute 40 and counting. Again, Woodlawn will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. Elms picks up the low snap, finds some space. He's got a first down before he's dropped at the 31. And Cedar Ridge keeps the drive going.
Really good blocking. First down easily. Moves the chains. Minute 23 to go. Clock running. Trying to add to their lead right before they get to the half.
Another bad snap. Elms picks it up, but nothing doing there. As he's dropped after a couple yard gain. Bo Watson had to be helped off the field for Woodlawn. It's the linebacker, the senior, a big part of this defense. Another injured player down for Woodlawn, and that's what this stoppage of play is about.
That's 2 key players that we've seen leave for Woodlawn.
That looks like that might be 44. Michael Wright, who's walking off gingerly on the far side, but either way, he was able to walk off the field under his own power. Injuries starting to pile up for Woodlawn, and of course, this is not a roster, either one of them. They can afford too many players to go off.
No, it's not a good sign when you look on that far side of the Woodlawn bench and you got 2 of their key players being tended to on the bench.
That's right. And both these teams only have about 20 to 25 players, and they move a lot of their freshman players up to make it look like they have that many.
Except they may be taping up Saylor's ankle over on that far side. He's got his leg out, and they're working on that ankle, wrapping it up right now.
Yeah, Woodlawn's defense has got a big stand, or at least they hope to have a big stand right here. Cedar Ridge, chance to blow this game open. Been impressed with the way Woodlawn's responded, at least. Cedar Ridge landed a couple haymakers early on, jumped up to the 20-0 lead, but the Bears defense has made a couple red zone stops. Obviously, they punched one in to make it the 20-8 margin. They need another big defensive stand here.
Yeah, this will be huge. Like you said, they get the ball back at the beginning of the second half. They can get a stop here and get a score. It's a one-possession game.
Cedar Ridge had as many as 225 yards of offense at one point in this contest. They've lost 12 since that point. 213 yards for the Timberwolves. Just 128 for Woodlawn. 2nd and 8. 1:06 left here in the first half. Quarterback sweep to the left. Elms got a couple blockers out in front. He breaks a tackle, cuts back across to the 10. Elms makes another defender miss to the 5. Finally, wrangled down at the 1, but another big play for the Cedar Ridge quarterback.
Elms runs so patiently. I mean, his vision is so good. He doesn't get in a hurry while he's running. He goes over the left side, has 2 blockers out there, makes one guy miss right there, cuts back across the field, cuts it again, makes another guy miss. Finally, they bring him down by the neck and force him down. I thought it was great. The Woodlawn player got up and came up to him and gave him a little pat like, sorry about grabbing you around the neck and bringing you down like that. I had to get you down somehow.
That's Griffin Maines who makes the play. 5 on the play clock now for Cedar Ridge. Elm takes the snap, flag comes out, does not get across the goal line, or at least that's the call. Now we've got to stop it to play, but we'll have to check the laundry.
They're going to mark him down at the 1-inch line. They're going to talk about it.
Fire trucks rolling down Markham. We'll have to check and see what the penalty is.
This crew is very good about talking to each other.
That's right.
And making sure everything's covered.
That's what you want in a championship game. There's a reason this crew's calling a title game. Let's see what the call is. That flag came out really early in the play. So you got to remember, any scoring play or potential scoring play is reviewable. So we'll have to wait and see what the play is here. Also did not get an indication of what the flag was.
Well, if the flag is holding, it really doesn't matter, right?
Right, yeah. So this makes you believe it's going to be a defensive penalty.
There's a look at it.
So this is exactly what they are seeing on the sideline.
That's a touchdown.
Right here. Looks like the ball did cross the goal line, equal with the plane. But again, we have to check and see what the flag was all about. So this could be a touchdown for Cedar Ridge, assuming that penalty's on the defense. But we don't know. That was a quick review either way. And Todd Garrett has the call.
Holding, Cedar Ridge, taking our penalty for 5. First down.
Okay.
That's a case where should have just let them know, hey, it doesn't matter if he scored or not. We got a holding, so it's coming back.
Yeah, so the review really not relevant there. So that is
the
a
review's
hold
on scoring plays. That's not a scoring play because there's a hold.
That's right, yeah. Maybe just making sure that the machine works. Either way, the clock is now winded. We got 20 seconds. Elms around the left side. Got a lead blocker to the 5. Steps out of bounds inside the 3. So it's going to be 2nd and goal after the big gain from the quarterback scramble.
I'm curious, why did the clock start on a holding?
Well, because the clock was moving on before the penalty, so it didn't go out of bounds. Now Woodlawn's defense going to take their final time out of the first half. Obviously a huge sequence coming up. 2nd and goal from the 2. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, don't go anywhere. We're driving into the culture of football excellence in South Arkansas and introducing you to a community that keeps producing elite talent. Plus, we honor the student athletes making the grade in every sense of the word. Then prepare for a story that's literally beyond belief with the infamous Village Academy Beavers. That and more when we return to the Arkansas PBS halftime show coming up. So Woodlawn takes their final time out here in the first half. Cedar Ridge a chance to make this a 3-score contest. Jonas Elms, 5 of 6 through the air, 104 yards and a touchdown. Does have the 1 interception. He's already eclipsed the 100-yard mark on the ground as well.
Cedar Ridge still has 2 timeouts left, so that opens up the playbook. They've been very successful at running the ball, so I don't think just because of the 16 seconds that means you got to throw it a couple of times.
So Woodlawn calls the timeout to set their defense. The clock had already stopped as the Cedar Ridge runner did get pushed out of bounds. 2nd and goal now. Jonas Elms takes the snap, rolls to his right. Now back to the left. Nobody there for Woodlawn. Waltzes into the end zone. How about a 3rd rushing touchdown of the first half?
Roll right, get the defense to over pursue, and then just, you know what, I'll cut it back. Is that like an old trap play right there? You go right and everybody else goes that way and you come back left. That's a strange way of saying it, but yeah, look at that. He's rolling to his right. Defense is flowing that way, and he just stops, cuts back. The over pursuit cost him.
Just like you draw it up. So Cedar Ridge pushes their lead to 26-8, and now the two-point try. Trips right. Elms looking that way. Pressure immediately up the middle. Hit as he throws, and that affected the pass. So the third two-point conversion goes ill. So three of the 4 attempts cannot be converted. And this is exactly what you're talking about, Wes. Roll to the right, all the momentum, all the flow. The defense goes one way, just cut back against the grain, and goes in untouched for the school.
And a big score. And puts them up 26-8. Woodlawn had gotten a little momentum, and you go back to that turnover. Costly turnover for Woodlawn. They were marching down, trying to, as you say, double dip, get a score before the end of the half, and then get the ball back, score again. Look, you may have a tie game, or heck, they could have the lead, but then that fumble gives the ball back to Cedar Ridge. They cash in on it and have a 26-8 lead.
Yeah, that fumble was massive. Forced by Weston Cook, recovered by Colby Fears. That led to the score. So points off turnover is big in any level of football. But if you just get a couple stops in 8-man football, especially if you have an offense as explosive as Cedar Ridge, that's going to put you behind the 8 ball. And Woodlawn's got an uphill battle as they trail it by 18. You do not have any timeouts left, so barring a big return here on the kickoff, that may do it for the first half.
These line drive kickoffs have given them fits all night.
A little more air underneath that one, but angled away and does go out of bounds. They're going to say it was not touched by Griffin Maines, the return man for Woodlawn, so that's going to result in really good field position for the Bears. So we'll see if they want to take a shot before the half.
Hey, you got to be aggressive. You're down 26-8. Question is, who's going to be in to play quarterback?
Yep.
We'll see if Saylor, look for number 8 out there, if he's able to come back in.
I believe Saylor is out there, standing at about the 24-yard line. But we'll see if they take the penalty and
they're going to make them kick it again.
I like the idea. The kicking team just had to run down the field, maybe a little tired right before the half. See if you can make a play with your special teams unit. So we'll do it again. Kick that one right down the middle. Maines fields it inside the 25. A lot of running room. Catches a block on the far side. Maines out to the 40. Pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and that's where Woodlawn will have one play of it, as there's 4 seconds remaining on the clock.
Just hard to break it out to the outside. He had some room up the middle. If he could make one guy miss, just get through that middle wave, could have broken it. Tell you what, there's a couple of guys for Woodlawn gutting it out. You see Saylor out there. Bo Watson's limping around. We saw Bo go to the sideline earlier on playing defense, and he's back out there on offense with a noticeable limp.
Cedar Ridge takes a timeout. They want to make sure that they have everything covered in the last 4 seconds of this first half. Don't let anything behind you. Then you got to believe that's the message from Scott Morgan to his troops. It's been a pretty impressive first half for Cedar Ridge. They've racked up 272 yards of total offense. They're averaging 6 yards per rush, 8 yards per play. The one fumble, the only really blemish on the resume of this first half for Cedar Ridge. Excuse me, not the fumble, the interception.
Interception at the goal line, yeah.
They got that right back as they forced the fumble. So spread formation, 2 receivers to each side for Ethan Saylor. They're going to throw it that way. A little tunnel screen, but a really nice play defensively made by Colby Fears, and that's going to do it for the first half. Cedar Ridge scores the first 20 points of the contest, and they lead Woodlawn 26-8 as we've hit halftime here in the 8-man state championship. Don't go anywhere. Halftime's coming up as you're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
This broadcast is underwritten, in part by...
Since 1937, the electric cooperatives of Arkansas have been providing power to homes, farms, and businesses across our state. The cooperatives are member-owned and work together to serve Arkansans. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas proudly support high school students and athletics in Arkansas and hope you enjoy watching the state championship games on Arkansas PBS Sports. Better connected together. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas.
Hey everybody, David Basil here. It's halftime at War Memorial, and that means we are back here at Arkansas PBS Studios to share with you a little bit of what we've been working on. In a few minutes, Christina Munoz will introduce you to some All-Stars, both on the field and in the classroom. And we're going to introduce you to a high school football team that is literally beyond belief. But first, deep in the heart of South Arkansas, the town of Warren has been cultivating a culture of elite wide receivers. Here's their story.
Warren is a small town. It's known for its tomatoes and wide receivers.
Sawmill town, good salt of the earth people.
Grew up with 4,000 people. I graduated with only 99. People love you there. The people love football there.
And when Friday night is packed, you're like, there's no way that many people's coming to a high school football game in this small community, and they do. They turn out.
You got a big community that's they on your side, and I just want to win. That's all I want to do, is win.
Warren had always been a football town, but Coach Embry has taken it to the next levels.
Started in 2000, so this makes my 26 years as a head football coach.
Bo coming in, taking the job over as a young coach, and just switching from a power out to more of a spread offense.
Shotgun with one back and then 4 receivers, and then translated into no backs, people running 5 wide, and nobody else was doing it. I mean, honestly, we were the only team in our conference doing it.
I don't think a lot of people really believed in it early, but as you see with the the back-to-back state championships, the system started to work and kids started to get recruited.
It started with Brett Smith and Roshan Fellows and Terrence Hampton in 2001, and it kind of grew.
College coaches all over the country can tell you Warren, Arkansas is one of those places we're going to look at.
The thing that kind of prepares you coming from Warren is Bo teaches you football.
Our guys start in the 7th grade, and we learn how to catch a football, why to catch a football, where to catch a football, because a lot of little things go into running great routes and to getting open, not just being fast or athletic.
He taught me everything I know. He helped me become like a better player on the field, off the field, building my IQ.
Our kids play both sides of football. In the higher classifications, they only play on one side. When they get to college, if it don't work out, then they're pretty much in trouble. Whereas our guys, they played everywhere. Like, you look at Traylon Burks. He was our, 4th NFL pick since I've been here, which is crazy. But our first-round draft choice, he played linebacker, he played safety, he punted, he returned punts, he returned kicks, he played quarterback, he played wideout. Antonio Jordan, same thing. Jarius Wright. You go back and you look at the list, Montre McKnight, A.J. Avery, Ricardo Kemp, Chris Gregg, Greg Childs, Darvion Brown, and Jalen Marshall, who played at Arkansas State. So you're not getting a wide receiver. You're getting a football player.
Growing up, I seen a lot of guys like Antonio Jordan, Traylon Burks, just keep pushing themselves, and, it just makes me want to strive for more.
When Brett and Roshan, and they were at Tennessee, they would come back in the summer, work out with our guys. When you had Jarius and Greg and Chris, they would come back, work out with our guys.
I remind them that I sat in the same chairs in the same elementary schools that they did, the same junior highs, the same high school, the same locker rooms. Man, like I literally helped build those locker rooms. We had to sand the walls and stuff when we first got that indoors.
Knowing that you got those people that came through here, knowing you coming through the same organization, feels good, feel like you on the right road.
It's tough to make it out of South Arkansas. I'm good at football. That's what I'm good at. That's what I know how to do. This is my ticket to get out of Warren. And that's one thing that I use. And it means more to us down there. It just means more.
Football has been the ticket to a much better life for a lot of kids in those football towns of rural Arkansas.
Warren is going to continue to produce great talent, and I truly believe that the sky's the limit for that football program down there.
Being a wide receiver coming out of Warren, You know, it's a lot of hype about it, and I love just playing under the pressure.
They live for football. It's just part of the culture. It's who they are. It's what they do.
And we had a dessert auction now where people made desserts, and we raised over $12,000. And people were buying pecan pies for $500. And it wasn't because of the pecan pie, it was because they want to support the Warren Lumberjacks.
Man, every Friday, the town shuts down just to come watch, Lumberjack football.
Shoot, you would think this town is pretty big. Everybody comes out to show out support.
Part of the very culture, not just the sport, but part of the fabric that holds that whole town together.
Football puts Warren on the map, and to see all the fans, filling up the bleachers and standing around the fence and things like that, because we helped make football important to that town, it's kind of a feeling you really can't replace.
From tomato crops to first-round draft picks, Warren keeps proving that small towns can raise big dreams. Now let's kick it over to Christina for a look at the 2025 Arkansas PBS Student All-Stars. Christina?
Thanks, Baz. Every year we scour the state to find athletes who not only excel on the field, but more importantly in the classroom. Here is your 2025 Arkansas PBS Student All-Stars. We kick it off with the 8-man Arkansas PBS Student All-Star that is Cash Martin, a linebacker and running back for the Cedar Ridge Timberwolves. Cash has a 4.0 GPA and plans to go to college and get an engineering degree. Next up in the 2A classification, we have Peyton Willoughby, a senior with the Indians of Mark Tree. Peyton has a 4.11 GPA and is planning on attending college for the Air Force ROTC. Moving on to the 3A classification, here is Micah Gamble with the Fordyce Redbugs. With a 3.7 GPA, Micah wants to play football at the collegiate level and major in criminal justice. Braden Simpson with the Southside Charter Southerners is our 4A Arkansas PBS Student All-Star. Braden has a 4.0 GPA and plans to attend Harding University to play football and major in civil engineering. The 5A classification is well represented by Wally Wolcott, the quarterback for the Lakeside Rams. Wally has a 3.5 GPA and wants to play football at the collegiate level and become a coach. The Benton Panthers' Garrett Pilkington is the Arkansas PBS Student All-Star from the 6A classification. Garrett has a 4.06 GPA and is planning on attending UALR and going to pharmacy school. And finally, our 7A Student All-Star is Trey Thompson, the quarterback for the Bentonville West Wolverines. Trey has a 4.0 GPA and wants to major in marketing in college. Congratulations to all and way to go. You know, we may see some of these faces again in April here on Arkansas PBS for Quiz Bowl. Now, if you haven't seen Quiz Bowl, you'll want to make a note to watch this year. Some of the smartest high school students in the state meet up right here in this studio and square off, not only for bragging rights, but for some pretty big checks, too. And it is all live right here on Arkansas PBS. Now, let's throw it back to Baz for a look at a little bit of trickery in Arkansas football history. Baz?
Thanks, Christina. What do you get when you mix two merry jokesters and a fake football team? One of the greatest pranks in Arkansas history. Check out the story of the Village Academy Beavers.
The very first game was September 7th. Actually, that was the date that the article was published, so it would have been September 6th. We played Rayville, Louisiana, and Jess Norman gained 94 yards on 11 carries.
Jess Norman is one of the star athletes of all time here in Arkansas. He was an outstanding running back, quarterback, whatever, any position for the Village Academy Beavers back in the mid-'80s.
He was indescribable. His capabilities were limitless.
A lot of muscular definition, could jump, run.
He was fast, he was very intelligent.
I mean, he could outsmart the defense. Wherever Village Academy appeared, Jess Norman was going to be there.
Just so happened he didn't exist.
That's true, he did not exist. It was all made up. Bob Sybils is band director. I was the girls basketball coach at Jessieville High School.
Gary and I called the scores in for Jessieville every Friday night.
And we were talking about the fact that when we would call in the scores, Arkansas Democrat and Gazette, at that time we're having a newspaper war.
They were trying to get every score in the state within an hour.
I mean, we'd call in a score and we'd say Jessieville, and they'd say, who are y'all, Jacksonville? And we'd say, no, we're Jessieville.
And you're the Eagles. No, we played the Eagles, we're the Lions. And Gary got so frustrated that they could not keep straight where we were, who we were. He said, I don't even know if they know if our school exists or not.
And the conversation began that we could probably just call in a make-believe score, because the people taking the scores really had no idea about some of the small schools in the state.
That hit a ding with me, and I said, well, let's test it out.
Bob Sybils made that first call. He went across the street from Jessieville School, went to First Baptist Church to the pastor's office to make the first hoax call here.
I got the Village Academy football scores, and the guy that I got knew a little enough to say, Village has a football team?
Wait a minute, he says, I've never heard of y'all before. He says, is this your first year for football? And Bob said, yes, this is. And he said,
who's your best player? And I said, Jess Norman. We thought of that.
Our principal at Jessieville High School, his name was Norman Jesperson.
It'll be a kind of a play on words on his name, but nobody will know who that is.
So we turned his name around and called it Jess Norman.
And he said, what's your mascot?
Well, we hadn't even talked about a mascot. So Bob quickly came up with beavers.
But he asked me so many questions that I knew it was going to be in there. The next morning, there it was.
And I don't know if we would have ever gotten going. I don't know if I would have ever made a call. But when he made the first call and it got started, hey, it was on. As we progressed with this and started calling in scores each week, I would make some calls, Bob would make some calls.
Had them play out-of-state schools. We were smart enough to realize we couldn't play other schools. Here in Arkansas, there'd be 2 scores in there.
We knew that we could not win every game, okay? We did not want to create too much attention to ourselves.
We weren't going to let Jess Norman run for 400 yards. Anything that would attract attention where they were going to say, wait a minute, that doesn't seem possible, and start looking. So those were just general guidelines on what we had to do to keep from being caught.
Coaches and band directors and friends around the state that couldn't wait to get a paper on Saturday morning to see how Village Academy did the night before.
Once they caught on, hey, this is real, we got a lot of people saying, I just want to kick a field goal or an extra point.
We had a lot of fans that were getting into this. We had bumper stickers printed. One of the faculty members wrote a fight song. We had an alma mater. We were really getting into this big time. A lot of Village Academy fans. Village Academy Nation was big.
The elementary school principal was the only one at Jessieville that didn't think it was funny. And he said, y'all need to stop that. If something bad were to come of it, I can't stand up for you. And we said, we totally understand that. And we kept doing it.
We thought, okay, we'll call it, get it in there one time, and, that'll be it, and we'll laugh about it, and they'll figure it out. And they won't put it back in there. Well, they didn't ever figure it out. We kept doing it for 4 years.
And there's the article of when we were actually caught by a reporter named Robert Yates.
One of our administrators sent in a note to the Arkansas Gazette and said,
you have a group of people in the state calling in fictitious football scores. He misspelled fictitious, by the way. He said they call their school Village Academy. There's no such school by that name. So Robert Yates took that letter and started investigating. He eventually figured out, no, this is not real.
We had a great program for 4 years until we got shut down.
I said, you feel it, the Village Academy coach said hi. He said, are you the one? I said, man, I've been wanting to try out for that team.
Once we got caught and we said, okay, we've been exposed, we'll have a celebration banquet at Rod's Pizza Cellar in Hot Springs.
And we had well over 100 people for us to tell the story of the Village Academy Beavers, talking about a make-believe football team that did not exist. Village Academy or Jess Norman will appear, just pop up places you never expect, just out of the wild blue.
I am amazed that it's still pops up every once in a while. You know, this many years later, that was 1985 that we started it and quit in 88.
I think the fact that it went so long for 4 years had a lot to do. You know, if it was only a couple of times, nobody'd be saying anything about it.
So I think that's what keeps it going, is just how much fun it was back then and how many people enjoyed following it and being a part of it.
I don't know if it'll ever die. It'll go on forever.
From a joke to a statewide following, Jess Norman and the Village Academy Beavers continue to spring up across Arkansas, breathing new life into the prank more than 40 years later. Now, Christina, it's about that time.
Yes, it is. Let's get you back to War Memorial Stadium for the second half of the high school state football championship.
Right here on Arkansas PBS.
This broadcast is underwritten in part by...
Since 1937, the electric cooperatives of Arkansas have been providing power to homes, farms, and businesses across our state. The cooperatives are member-owned and work together to serve Arkansans. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas proudly support high school students and athletics in Arkansas and hope you enjoy watching the state championship games on Arkansas PBS Sports. Better connected together. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas.
One fly for the Wild Wings. Got it. There's a dunk inside. Is the icing on the cake for Ladarius? Here's a big play by Roberts. He'll go down the left side. One man to beat. He'll walk in the end zone for a touchdown. Right ahead. Here's a running lane at the 5. He'll walk in, touchdown. There we go, Johnny Diaz.
5A baseball championship. Hard hit once again down the left field line. Double and score 4-0 Valleyview.
The wall. It's gone. 3-run homer.
You have to. This is the time to dig in and get the job done.
Kenzie Freeman with the big swing from the right side. She puts down another kill. And all that hard work finally paid off. She tries to go cross court. Nobody home, right in the middle.
Don't go anywhere because we've got a lot in store for you.
Here's the Arkansas PBS Student All-Stars Class of 2024.
The Unified Team is Special Olympic partners and peer partners. Friends, it's just incredible to watch how they have been impacted by this experience.
Hugo Bezdek, biggest contribution was the adoption of the Razorbacks and a whole sense of pride for this state and for this university.
What a game it was.
It's an exclamation point for an all-time Arkansas team.
UANS is a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports. UANS Health provides orthopedic and sports medicine care across Arkansas, supporting athletes and teams throughout the state. Find out more at uanshealth.com. Winrock Automotive supports Arkansas athletes as a sponsor of the Arkansas PBS Sports broadcast of the high school state championship games, with 7 dealerships across the state serving Little Rock, Conway, and Jonesboro. Winrock Automotive is community-focused and provides vehicle sales and service across Arkansas. We're honored to be a part of these unforgettable moments celebrating Arkansas student athletes. Winrock Automotive, connecting communities through service and support.
Lately, we've been reminded just how much this community cares about public media. Your messages, your support, and your belief in what we do mean the world to us. Because of you, Arkansas PBS continues to educate children, inform our citizens, and share powerful Arkansas stories, making sure everyone has a place to learn, grow, and feel connected. Now more than ever, it's your support that will help Arkansas PBS remain strong, preserving our legacy and safeguarding our future. Please consider becoming a monthly sustaining donor or increasing your support if you are able. Then, now, always. Arkansas PBS is your public media station. Thank you.
You can leave a legacy of education and inspiration. Every day, Arkansas PBS highlights local stories, showcases the natural beauty of our state, and engages lifelong learners of all ages. you can ensure that these trusted programs and valued services will benefit generations to come when you make a gift through your will, trust, or retirement account to Arkansas PBS.
It's halftime here inside War Memorial Stadium. Cedar Ridge leading Woodlawn 26-8. He's Wes Moore. I'm Bobby Swafford. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at the first half stats. And Cedar Ridge jumped out to an early 20-0 lead, and the box score really leans that direction. 272 yards of total offense in the first half, 168 on the ground, 104 through the air. Time of possession also in their favor. What else you could say? Cedar Ridge really dominated that first half, Wes.
Yeah, another thing that jumps out to me, third down conversion. Cedar Ridge is 4 for 5. I mean, Walnut Ridge, Woodlawn, is 0 for 3 and 0 for 2 on fourth down. Right. So you combine third and fourth down, Woodlawn is 0 for 5 and Cedar Ridge 4 for 5. So they're getting it done on the money downs, and a lot of times it's broken tackles. Woodlawn's got to fix that issue in the second half. They got a chance to come back. And you get into open field, it's usually one-on-one. You got to make that tackle, and if you don't, it's going to turn into big play, and that's what Cedar Ridge has been living off of, the big plays tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned the missed tackles, and that probably is the most telling statistic of all. Is Cedar Ridge has created big plays, rushes of 30, 20, a pass play of 47 and 38 because of missed tackles. Woodlawn has been in position to limit those to average or minimal gains, but because of broken tackles, Cedar Ridge has popped a big one. And that's why they've got a 26-8 lead as we're about a minute and some change away from kickoff here in the second half. Woodlawn's going to receive the second half kickoff. And if you're the Bears and Coach Doug Means, what are you telling your troops at halftime, Wes?
Well, you got to fix the tackling, and then you got to take care of the ball. With all the stats and everything we've talked about, the score was 20-8. Woodlawn had just gotten a big interception on the goal line, had a little momentum because you remember Cedar Ridge scored the first 20 points. And then Woodlawn scored to make it 20-8. They get a big stop. It looked like they were marching down the field, and right around midfield, they fumbled the ball, and Cedar Ridge recovered. And Cedar Ridge turned that into points, and that's how you got 26-8. Let's think, if they take care of the ball there, go down and score, it's 20-14, 20-16 maybe.
Right.
And they're getting the ball here.
Yeah.
And you're like, you got a chance to score to take the lead, but that costly turnover. So take care of the ball. And then we got to tackle better on defense.
Yep. And it wasn't just a mishandling of the football. I give a lot of credit to Cedar Ridge's Weston Cook. He's the one who forced the fumble. Colby Fears jumped on it, and they took advantage, punched it in just before the half. And so Cedar Ridge has the 18-point lead, but Woodlawn does get the football to start things in a massive drive to start this third quarter. Both these teams looking for their first ever state football championship, and one of them is going to take it home. And 24 minutes of game action. We're underway here in the third quarter, and I don't think that was supposed to be an onside kick. I think that was just mishit off the tee and spirals out of bounds. Going to be great field position for the Bears to start.
I think that was a shank.
That's my golf game and a tee right there.
Hit that off the nozzle right there. Maybe off the instead of hitting it off his foot, it was off his ankle.
Yep.
And just almost turned into an onside kick.
Yeah.
But
if you could replicate that, they might have something. But either way, going to be great field position for the Bears as this drive's going to start on the Cedar Ridge 44-yard line. They finally put it down, and just inside the 45.
I think they said it went out about the 49, 5-yard penalty for going out of bounds. So Woodlawn with great field position, their best field position of the day. They got to a little different formation for Woodlawn also.
4 receivers to the far side. So only 4 players in the box for either team. Saylor, quarterback run right up the middle. Got some space running behind his big right guard and got first down yardage. That's a good idea. Just get behind Aiden Powell, let him do all the heavy lifting.
It's a numbers game. You're just looking to see how they line up. They don't have enough outside. You know what? We'll just run it behind our big right guard. And got a pancake out of it, too.
I've never been called a genius, but if you run behind 70, I bet good things happen. He's a people mover. Same formation. Run right ahead. Again, running behind that offensive line, trying to create something on the far side. Stepping out of bounds is Ethan Saylor. Picked up about 5 yards, though, so a really good-looking drive to start the third quarter here for the Bears.
It's good to see Saylor back out there. He had to leave the game after his fumble, rolled his ankle, went over to the sideline. I saw him taping him up on the sideline, and it looks like he's walking around without a limp, and after those 2 carries, he looked fine out there.
Saylor again keeps the football. Cedar Ridge right in his face, but makes a couple players miss. He's dropped just before he gets to the 20-yard line, but it's another first down for Woodlawn. Saylor, though, slow to get up.
He was tackled by his ankle. He had a hold of his foot when he got a sprained ankle, and the guy grabs you by your foot, and you'll see it here on the replay. Watch him grab his leg, falls on top of it. That ankle, it's already sore and stretched out. He's hurting right there.
Yeah, the opposing quarterback, Jonas Elms, makes the play, and you're exactly right. He's struggling in the backfield. I think our official is going to come over and take a look at him, see if he's all right. He gives the head nod.
Gave him a thumbs up.
Yep.
I'll bet he hands it off.
Yep, does exactly that. Not much doing there for Maines, as he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage, but able to spin forward for a pickup of maybe 1.5. But Ethan Saylor is definitely hurting in the offensive backfield.
So if you and I thought he was going to hand it off, Fuentes also thought that, and he was just bullseye on the running back. That's all he was thinking about. He took out Saylor of the equation.
Now they're going to the power formation. They've given it the big 72 ace color for a bunch out of this formation. Instead, they give it to the deep back Maines, and he is shut down in the backfield.
He ruled that ball was down. He just missed his hole. I mean, he was following his big guy. Big guy took on the block, and he went to the right of the side of the big guy. You just got to go left of him. You got to go right there. Your hole's to the left. He was running away from Dawson Ingles. The Ingles was ready to fill the hole, but you got to go. You got to get north and south. You got to get what you can get right there instead of trying to bounce it outside, and he ended up not getting hardly anything.
So it's going to be 3rd and 10 now for Woodlawn. We'll see what Ethan Saylor can do. He's still hobbled in the backfield with that ankle injury. Again, they're going to hand it off to Maines. Trying to create something left side. Got a block out in front. Maines inside the 10. It's going to be 1st and goal for Woodlawn.
That's Culliford running behind him again. He blocked 2 guys. He followed him, got the first block, and here comes the second guy, gets a block on him. That was a big play, exactly what Woodlawn had to have.
Finding a way to get Griffin Maines going is going to be really important for Woodlawn. 8 carries for 25 yards prior to that one. Maybe his most productive carry of the day. 13 yards is his longest.
Maines came up a little limpy-gimpy, too.
Quarterback keeper, Saylor, right up the middle at the 5, and he's again hauled down by an ankle, but he gets inside the 5 down to the 4, where it's going to be 2nd and goal.
That time they grabbed his good ankle.
It's very courteous of them.
I got to find a way to punch it in here.
So Cedar Ridge took the opening kickoff and marched it right down the field. And Woodlawn's trying to return the favor, and a score here would certainly make this game much more interesting as we head to the meat and bones of the second half. Saylor, quarterback sweep to the left side, and Cedar Ridge shuts that down from the beginning. He's going to step out of bounds, and a big loss. They're going to drop him back outside of the 10. A loss of 6, and Cedar Ridge's defense snuffed that one out.
Came on a little run blitz that time, and great job from Dawson Ingles. Comes in, blows up the play. He doesn't make the tackle, but he blows it up, and here comes all of his teammates.
Fuentes also there at the end to help clean that up. So 3rd and 10 now for Woodlawn.
I thought they may go to Culliford down there inside the 5. Just hand it to the big guy a couple of times.
Saylor looking right. That pass just out in front of the outreached arms of his tight end, Bo Watson. Now it's going to be 4th and goal from the 10. So what started as a really productive and scary-looking drive from Woodlawn, now they're faced with a 4th down.
And they're gutting it out. We saw Bo Watson injured earlier in the first half, and he's back out there still limping around. He's running around a little bit better than he was in the end of the first half, but he got an injured quarterback throwing it to an injured receiver right there.
They are certainly a banged-up group of Bears. Bunch formation to the right side. Saylor rolls right. Now it's going to be a throwback. Receiver wide open. Touchdown, Woodlawn. Bo Watson snuck out to the left side, and the throwback was dialed up perfectly.
Great play call. It's an aggressive Cedar Ridge defense, and he just rolls to the right, and everybody on the defense rolls to the right with him, and tight end sneaks out all by himself out there in the left flat. Easy pitch and catch.
Watson has Uncle Rico taped to the back of his helmet. He just waltzes into the touchdown there. That's a big, big play for Woodlawn. Now the 2-point try. Saylor straight ahead, now bounces it to the outside. Does he win the race? Yes. Hobbles into the end zone, but Woodlawn lands the first punch here in the second half, and we have got ourselves a contest. Cedar Ridge lead has been cut to 26-16. Do not go anywhere. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
For over 70 years, Farm Bureau Insurance has offered coverage for automobiles, homes, farms, and lives across Arkansas. Proud to support the Arkansas Activities Association. More at afbic.com.
I think it's important for Arkansas PBS to have sports because it provides sports on a greater platform to the entire community. And it also gives people in various other communities an opportunity to see other schools and other athletes and to have a greater appreciation for not just their own community, but the sports that are available across the state of Arkansas. There are so many lessons that sports provides, and it's one of the reasons why it's so important to the next generation of athletes coming up.
The future of Arkansas PBS, its programs, and its irreplaceable purpose all rest on a strong foundation of community support. Help us continue to impact lives for generations to come. Keep good going with a tax-deductible donation of just $5 a month. Visit myarpbs.org/donate to learn more.
Took it tonight's Arkansas PBS Student All-Star, and it's senior linebacker, running back Cash Martin from Cedar Ridge, a 4.0 GPA. Oh, only if I was that smart. He plans to attend college and major in engineering, getting it done in the classroom, also getting it done on the field.
Here's a look at some of the big plays on that drive and throughout this game. Cedar Ridge with a big touchdown early in the game. 23 yards from Cash Martin, taking it in, getting it done in the classroom, getting it done on the field tonight in the state championship game.
It's funny how that works. Talk about a player, he scores a touchdown.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
That's right, especially when you edit it that way. So congratulations to Cash Martin, tonight's Arkansas PBS Student All-Star. So flag on the kickoff. It's going to back up Woodlawn 5 yards. I believe they got him for an illegal formation. Going to have a certain number of players on each side of the kicker. Woodlawn was pleading their case that they motioned a player over and they came over late. Officiating crews having none of it. 5-yard penalty is going to back it up to the 35 until they'll have to kick it again.
The coach is still talking to them about it, trying to convince them that's a legal play, probably telling them we've been doing this all year. But this is one of those plays. They need to get an onside kick. They got to steal a possession.
7 of the 8 players for Cedar Ridge, all within 5 yards of that line to gain. That kick is a little too firm, goes out of bounds. And again, if Cedar Ridge elects to take the football, they're going to get really good field position.
You know, with the sidelines being moved in, those onside kicks are even tougher for the 8-man teams.
Yep, surprised they don't move the ball over to maybe a little closer to the hash and then try to widen that far side of the field. Either way, going to be 1st and 10 for Cedar Ridge, and now they need to respond. Woodlawn landed the first blow here in the second half. They just marched it right down the field in the first 2 minutes and almost 50 seconds. To make this a contest again. 272 yards of offense in that first half, though, for Cedar Ridge. Jonas Elms accounted for 218 of those 272.
Woodlawn's got a size advantage. They got to start taking advantage of that on the defensive line. Try to get some penetration. Try to blow up some plays.
Cedar Ridge changing the play. 10 seconds on the play clock. Straight handoff. Trying something on the left side, and that was the size you were talking about, Wes. The front for Woodlawn moved the line of scrimmage back, and it's a loss of 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what you got to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And too much in the first half, they were playing on their own side, just kind of reading and reacting. That time it was more reacting before they read.
It's a great job from Matthew Green, number 40 for Woodlawn. Not only did he set the edge, he collapsed the running lanes and makes the play, drops a ball carrier for a 2-yard loss. Yep. Cedar Ridge hasn't been behind the chains very often, but they are right now at 2nd and 12. Big hole right up the middle. Cash Martin got a chance to take it all the way. Cash Martin, 53-yard touchdown Timberwolves.
The Arkansas PBS Student All-Star does it again. We just got through showing you his highlight from the first half and what a great student he is. What a run that was.
And what an answer that is for Cedar Ridge. Woodlawn trying to make things interesting. They score first here in the second half, but Cash Martin found a seam, and he did the rest. Showing off speed to burn. 53 yards for the score. His second touchdown of 47 yards or longer. Took the screen pass in the first half, went 47. That time he dashes for 53 and another score.
The offensive line did a good job of a cut block. Then you had some guys pulling, huge hole to run through.
Try the 2-point play. What an effort. That's try to get across the goal line, and it gets there.
Wesley Horton.
That was all Wesley Horton. He was stopped shy of the goal line, did not go down on first contact, muscles through the defender, and a 2-point try is good.
Wesley Horton had 11 touchdowns on the season. This is just a 2-point conversion, but you can see how strong he is. Here's Cash's touchdown run. Look at this hole. Huge hole. Now he just uses the speed, runs away from everybody. Ethan Saylor with a gimpy ankle just can't catch him until it's way too late. Now the 2-point conversion. He stopped. He's short. He's a yard short. There's no way. No, stretch across. Use that strength and size, Wesley Horton. Great effort. 2-point conversion's good. Momentum back on Cedar Ridge's side.
That's a big answer for Cedar Ridge, but we mentioned that Woodlawn had struggled to make tackles in the open field, broken tackles. There's no broken tackle about that on the touchdown run. Didn't even touch Cash Martin. That's how big that hole was.
And the broken tackle, that was Wesley Horton, just effort right there. You know, they had him stopped. They hit him in the back, no momentum, and he just kept fighting and fighting. And then a heads-up play, just stretching the ball across the goal line.
So Cedar Ridge answers the Woodlawn score. And now the Bears need to try to answer back. Maines fields the kickoff. And nowhere to go. Just could not field that kickoff cleanly. Ball hit the turf. He's dropped just beyond the 25-yard line, and that's where the Bears will try to get something going again. But I think they might have found something on that opening drive. Spread out that Cedar Ridge defense and let Saylor, your quarterback, go to work.
Got the tackle on the special teams from Austin Pouch. He's been doing it on defense, and I think he was leading them in tackles at the half. And comes down on special teams, and the form tackle stops him dead in his tracks at the 27.
Couple tight ends in the formation now. They go quarterback draw. Saylor's got a lot of space. He lost the football. Again, Saylor stripped to the football, and Cedar Ridge's defense gets the ball back for their offense.
Just a costly turnover for Woodlawn and Saylor. There's a good look at it. Got to get that ball high and tight. Come in, reach in, take it away.
It's the same player, Weston Cook. The second time he gets his hands on the football and rips it loose. And Cedar Ridge has a chance to really distance themselves from Woodlawn.
Do it once, you're just like, that's a good play. You do it twice, that guy's in there hunting for the ball. He has been taught that over and over and over. You get an open field like that, and that guy's carrying it loose, just rip away at the ball.
See if the Cedar Ridge offense can take advantage of it. Elms, straight handoff to Martin, and that one's going nowhere. The interior of the defense shuts that one down, and Matthew Green makes the play.
Dakota Campbell also in there, big 66. See Aiden Powell, definite. Look at that. You can see the size advantage that they have.
Now a late flag comes out.
I think Powell was doing some talking. I don't know if he drew it or he got Cedar Ridge to talk back.
Yep. So they stopped the clock, and now we'll see what the call is. But that flag comes out well after the play. So it's a loss of 2, and they've already flipped it over to second down. So it's 2nd and 12, but we'll have to see what the call is here. I believe this one's going to be marked off, 15. So it is an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Aiden Powell. They say number 70. So more importantly, it's 50 yards. Yep. It's a good look at it right there. Great job from our crew battling the elements tonight. So that's just something you can't afford to have if you're Woodlawn. You win first down defensively, but you give it right back to them with the penalty. So 1st and 10 at the 24. Elms keeps it on the option read. He's got some running room. 15, tackled at the 11, another first down for the Timberwolves.
We were just talking about Powell and the penalty. That time, you got Elms just reading Powell.
Yep.
It's just an RPO. What does Powell do? He's coming after the running back. Well, I'm going to run right around you, use my speed to get around you, big guy. That's exactly what he does.
So just like that, it goes from going to be 2nd and 12, 15-yard penalty, then a 10-yard plus run. And the Timberwolves are knocking on the door again. Already leading 34-16. Empty backfield. Straight quarterback run. Elms. Not a whole lot there. Might have picked up 2.
Yeah, they had that one sniffed out that time.
Tried to spread out the Woodlawn defense, but the big boys up front had none of it.
I think Culliford was in there on defense that time, and Culliford came in, made the tackle, had Powell there close by, Campbell, Green.
Cedar Ridge trying to take complete control of the contest. Already up by 3 scores, looking to add to it. Low snap though, Elms has to pick it up off the turf, breaks a tackle on the backfield, make it 2. Doing everything he can just to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Going to lose 1 on the carry, though. But that one could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, they had him back pinned in the backfield, but you see how elusive he is. He was able to break 1, 2 tackles and just get forward a little bit. He could have lost probably 4 or 5 yards on that play.
I don't know if we have broken tackles on the stats. It may take me a minute to find it, but they got to be creeping up on double digits.
Oh, yes.
So 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 coming up. They can get a first down, can Cedar Ridge, inside the 1, but not by much. Elms gets the snap, hands it off. Now that one's going nowhere either. Again, another big play on the interior. 66, Dakota Campbell makes the play.
Campbell shed his block and was able to get in and snuff it out. And just really inhales the running back. He's so much bigger. Just tosses him to the ground. Nothing there.
Captain Obvious going to make the statement here. A massive play coming up for the Woodlawn defense.
Yeah, any shot right here, you got to keep it at 18-point deficit.
Pair of receivers to the right of the formation, but wide open in the middle. Touchdown, Timberwolves. They sneak out the tight end, and Austin Patch is wide open for the score.
What a great play call. I mean, they just, you nailed it, just snuck him out. Used to just run. He runs right by the linebacker. Bo Watson was right there with him, and then by the time he realized, oh, they're going to throw it, he turns around and Pouch is already gone.
Almost too easy, but great play design to sneak the tight end out, and that's a backbreaker for the Woodlawn defense. Cedar Ridge going to try to add the 2-point conversion. Elms going to roll left, looking that way, and a dart to a pass hauled in by Dawson Ingalls for the 2-point try. And it's 42-16. Cedar Ridge is starting to smell a title.
Check out this throw. That's the easy one. That's for the touchdown, wide open. Just don't want to overthrow him. But this one, 2-point conversion. Oh, this same play again. I thought the throw on the 2-point conversion was one of his better throws for the night. He didn't have Dawson Ingalls wide open. He was covered pretty well, and he threw it where only Eagles could catch it.
Yep. Sometimes the throw to the wide open receiver is the most difficult one, though, because like you just said, you don't want to overthrow your target. The lollipops it up there, but this is the throw you're talking about.
Yeah, rolling to his left, gets his shoulders turned, throws it on the line. A nice play, nice throw and catch.
It puts it only where his receiver can make the play. Ingalls does that. And Cedar Ridge, who's been explosive all season long, has got 42 points, and we've still got 17 and a half minutes of game time left. So Woodlawn has got 200 yards of offense, but the 2 fumbles just looming large have resulted in 16 points, I believe. I think they got the 2-point conversion on both of those possessions. That kickoff goes out of bounds again, but points off of turnovers, that will always crush you. And Cedar Ridge is taking advantage.
Let's see if they're going to make them re-kick that.
They are going to choose the re-kick. So 14 points off of those 2 turnovers. And you can look at the scoreboard. It's a big reason why. It's not the only reason why, but it's a big reason why Cedar Ridge has got a commanding lead.
Well, Woodlawn got themselves behind the 8 ball, so to say, and they just couldn't afford any turnovers. And so the turnovers look even worse when you're behind like that. You're scrambling, trying to make up ground. You just can't have any misfires. You got to score every possession. And when you're turning it over, it just magnifies the situation.
So Woodlawn now back against the wall. The Bears are undefeated on the season, a perfect 10-0. But they have got their work cut out for them here in the final 17 and a half minutes. They want to get back in it. Protecting the football, as Wes just said, is going to be priority number 1. Those 2 turnovers resulting in 14 points the other way. Quick handoff to the fullback, and this powers right up the middle, near first down yardage. Going to be dropped just shy of the marker, it looks like. So 9 yards for Ace Culliford. Going to be 2nd and 1.
That's the quick hitter that we saw in the first half. He's just going in between the guard and the tight end over there. And big hole, gets a lot of momentum going. And when he gets going, it's going to take more than one guy to stop him.
6 carries for 40 yards for Culliford now. Averaging well over 6 yards a carry. Just haven't been able to hit the big play so far as Woodlawn. We'll try Maines on the speed sweep. Gets to the outside. He's got a first down, but loses his footing as he's cut off on the far side. Cedar Ridge's Cash Martin gets over there and stops the momentum, but not before he picks up first down yardage.
Yeah, it was good first down. It was good to see Griffin Maines get up. If I got tackled like that, I would have been done for a couple months.
Yeah.
His foot kind of slipped out from underneath him, and he got all stretched out. That's the limberness of a teenager right there.
Yeah, no doubt. But it is first down for Woodlawn at their own 46. Nice shift to the eye. Little play fake, trying to flatten, just overshoots his target. Trying to get Bo Watson, who he caught on the touchdown pass earlier, but you can tell Watson is not at 100%.
Well, they had one of their deep linebackers or a defensive back kind of cutting in front, Weston Cook, for Cedar Ridge. Now, he didn't have an eye on the quarterback or the ball. His head was turned, but he was still kind of in the way, and so he was trying to throw it over him and just messed up the throwing lane.
Simple handoff to Maines on the lead play to the left side. Picks up about 4, so 3rd and 6 upcoming for Woodlawn.
It's 2-down territory, so you've got 2 downs to make up 6 yards.
You can just see the nagging injuries mounting for Woodlawn. A lot of players limping back to the huddle. 3rd and 6. Saylor hands it off. Culliford wide, right up the middle. Huge hole. First down and a lot more. Inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. Call it 15 yards for the big man and another first down for the Bears.
Defensive back's nightmare. Having to tackle that guy. I mean, give him credit. He went in, tried to go low and wrap up his legs, but just bounced off Culliford, and he kept going.
That is a load to try to bring down when you're going one-on-one. Saylor going to keep it himself on the quarterback counter. He's got some running room. Saylor to the 25, now inside the 20. He slides down at the 15. 21 more yards for Woodlawn. The Bears have got the offense moving.
Needed one more block to spring that, but he actually ended up making that guy miss. Slowed him up enough. If he gets that block right there, I think he might score. But he gets to the sideline, picks up some chunk yards, gets them inside the red zone.
Wesley Horton going to have to go to the sideline. He's going to have to be tended to again, I believe. The trainers are getting their money's worth tonight.
Cold artificial turf, getting their elbows, and skinning them up a little bit and having to clean up some blood.
Maines goes in motion. They get off to Culliford. Inside the 10, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and tiptoes inside the 4 to the 3-yard line. Going to be another first down, first and goal for Woodlawn.
I was about to say, I wish he would just stayed inside with it and instead of bouncing it outside, but you know what? He made it work. I thought he was just going to go right up in that hole and take on Dawson Ingalls one-on-one, but he bounced it to the outside and still got it inside the 5.
I'm impressed with the agility of big Ace Culliford. See if he gets it again. It'll be the quarterback, Saylor, wide open spaces, touchdown Bears.
Instead of giving it to Culliford, he just follows Culliford into the end zone. Uses the big guy as his block.
Not a bad decision to follow big 72. Right behind 70, the right tackle, Aiden Powell, and Woodlawn's back in the end zone. 2-point conversion could cut this to an 18-point ball game.
It's like one of those goal line formations when they bring in the heavy set. You know, they bring in an extra offensive lineman and do some blocking. That's all that is. They're just using him as a fullback.
Saylor keeps it left side, but he's dropped shy of the goal line, so the 2-point conversion's going to fail. So the margin will stay at 20. Cedar Ridge 42-22, but Woodlawn not giving up. Still a lot of time left. We've seen some crazy things happen in 8-man football. Here's another look at the score, though.
Yeah, just follows Culliford in there. He kind of gets enough of the defensive player coming in right there. Just gets enough. And also, you had his big offensive lineman in there, Aiden Powell, blocking. So that's a lot of weight coming in that he's following.
Cedar Ridge leads at 42-22. He's Wes Moore. I'm Bobby Swafford. Thanks for tuning in on your Thursday night. There's a late add to the broadcast team. Our thoughts are out with our boy JB Brazil, tending to the voice. Woke up this morning and didn't have one, which is hard to do as a TV guy. Kind of need one of those.
What's his status for tomorrow? Is he probable?
He's a game-time decision.
Game-time decision.
He has been told. He hasn't told me. He has been told that he is expected to be here.
Well, if he can't talk, he can't talk.
Hey, I don't care what you got to do. Sometimes we'll just take a warm body. In all seriousness, hopefully he's back and better tomorrow. He called a basketball game last night and loses his voice. So it's like, basketball season doesn't start till after next week. Gotta wait for football to get over with. Excited to have him, though, back on the broadcast team. R.J. Hawk's going to be along tomorrow as well. 2A championship going to be at noon. East Poinsett County against conference rival Cross County.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get an onside kick yet. That would be huge if they could get this possession of the ball again.
So the onside kick comes, tries to get that big hop, but does not, as Jonas Elms, the quarterback, right there, smothers the onside kick, and Cedar Ridge going to take over at their own 47.
I tell you what, Bo Watson is giving it everything he's got. I watched him. He was one of the 3 guys that could have kicked it. You know, they were faking who would kick it and trying to keep Cedar Ridge guessing. But Bo Watson didn't even try to kick it, and then after he just stood there and then just walked to his position. Now he's just limping to where he needs to be.
So Cedar Ridge has a 42-22 lead, and they're looking to add to their already productive night offensively. 345 yards, including 230 on the ground. Jonas Elms takes a snap, keeps it himself, goes right side, walks through an arm tackle, and another broken tackle at the 40. Jonas Elms moving the chains again.
Well, it was a great fake. He had actually players on the defensive side of the ball running with the jet sweep. He capped it, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. That was 2 broken tackles on that play.
Jonas Elms over 135 yards rushing on the contest. Chance to add more here.
Got him. Offsides. That's the third time.
1,340 yards rushing for the Cedar Ridge quarterback coming into it.
Tell you what, it's looking rough right now for Woodlawn, but Ethan Saylor has something to play for. We were talking about before the game, he needed 147 yards to get to 2,000 for the season. He's got 108. So he's 40 yards away from getting to that 2,000-yard barrier, or 2,000-yard mark. I know that's not his goal right now, but it's something to keep an eye on.
Quarterback run to the left, and he is going to waltz into the end zone. Elms again, and the quarterback from Cedar Ridge goes in untouched.
Tell you what, you just got to watch the blocking on this play. I mean, it's fantastic. It's the way you draw it up. You said it. You go 33 yards untouched. There's some credit for somebody else. Do have a late flag on the field. I did not see that until just now.
I think that came in well after the play. We'll confer with the Cedar Ridge coaching staff to see what they want to do. So the flag, though, comes in well after the score, so Elms coasts in for the score, and as Wes just mentioned, the blocking tremendous. So a second sideline warning against Woodlawn. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff. That's what they said. Don't know why you wouldn't take that half the distance to goal on the 2-point try here, but that's their choice. So 2-point try coming up. Got a chance to get to half 100 here if you're Cedar Ridge. They're trying to this little circle route to the halfback, and the throw too tall for Ingalls from Elms, and about the only mistake that Elms has made here in the second half.
Here's a look at the touchdown and watch the blocking. Gets that one block on the outside. They sealed the inside so that he could get to the outside and turn it up, and just goes in untouched. Give credit to the offensive line for sealing it, and then he has one blocker in front of him. He gets the block needed and just rolls in for the touchdown.
24 carries tonight for Jonas Elms, 173 yards and 4 touchdowns. That'll do.
Elms came in with 1,340 rushing.
Yep, this is over 1,500 yards for the season, now at an even 30 rushing touchdowns. It's crazy to think with the night he's having, he's actually bringing his season average down as far as yards per carry. He's been averaging over 8 yards a tote.
Who called timeout?
Woodlawn takes the timeout. Try to maybe calm the troops down just a little bit. You know, you've been battling all season long. You're undefeated coming into the state championship, and these things aren't going your way. You got to be able to control the emotions, and you got to believe that's what the conversation is on the far sideline. As Coach Doug Means tries to get his team to finish this thing the right way.
Love watching Arkansas High School Championship sports on Arkansas PBS? I do. Well, then help us keep this incredible coverage coming your way. Just scan this QR code. It's quick. It's easy. Pull out your phone right now. Scan that QR code. You'll visit myarpbs.org/sportsdonate, making it simple for you. Got the QR code up there right now. Pull out your phone. Easy to do. Put up the camera. Not take a picture. Just scan it, and you'll get the little yellow thing that comes up. You just touch that little yellow thing, and it'll take you right there to the website. If you're not smart enough to figure it out, probably like me, if I was sitting home, I wouldn't be able to pull it all up. Just go to the website, myarpbs.org/sportsdonate.
So kickoff, fielded on a one-hop by Maines. Makes a Cedar Ridge defender miss, but he's dumped at the 30-yard line. And now the Bears try to go back to work. They've got a lot of work to do, trailing by 26.
Means has had some nice runs, either coming out of the wide receiver position or slot coming over or at running back. They've done a great job. I mean, a great job on special teams, the kickoff coverage. He has not been able to pop anything.
It was with so few players out there, obviously only 8. You feel like there's going to be more space on the special teams, and you're exactly right. Cedar Ridge has done a great job of slowing down the return game of the Bears. Saylor got a receiver wide open, hits him in stride. It's going to be a foot race to the 30. Can he get there? Cannot. Going to waltz in for the score. One play. Matthew Green goes 69 yards for the touchdown.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Matthew Green, I told you earlier, he only had 9 catches on the season, but 4 touchdowns. That's a great average. You throw it to him, he usually scores. I think it's his second catch and his first touchdown. 69 yards. I'm looking at the receiving, Matthew Green. Actually, he had another couple catches tonight. So, but still, big play from Green. Gives him a little boost. Keeps a little, you just need a little hope on that sideline. Crazy things happen in this game.
Quarterback keeper Saylor right up the middle. 2-point conversion is good. Again, it's an 18-point contest. And that's why you don't change the channel during an 8-man football contest, because things can change in a hurry. One play, 69-yard score, and Woodlawn back in the end zone, back within 18 points.
When Cullifer injures his ankle on this play, you'll see the replay. This is the touchdown. Just roll left, leak out the tight end. Nobody was there. And then enough speed. I thought he was going to be caught. He turned it on, breaks the tackle, the shoestring tackle, and rumbles into the end zone. I was watching Cullifer come off after the 2-point conversion. Once again, they ran that same play. I think they could run that on every 2-point conversion. Just
no question.
Put Cullifer back there in the backfield, run right behind him. But he twisted something on that block, and he wasn't even putting pressure on his foot. He was hopping off to the sideline. He is down on the ground on about the 25-yard line right now, being taken a look at. And he is a very important part of this team. And you think about it, you got Cullifer that's playing hurt, or hopefully he can come back in. Ethan Saylor was hurt in the first half. He's a huge part of the team. Bo Watson has been limping around. There's Cullifer right there. He's trying to stretch. Maybe it was a cramp. Maybe that's what it was. It was a cramp. Now he's over there trying to stretch it out. So that's why he was hopping like that. That calf cramped up on him. That hurts, man.
That onside kick, that hurts too.
Yeah.
That one went 1 yard.
Yeah.
So did not get the necessary 10 yards. So Cedar Ridge going to get great field position on this drive. Looking to answer, they're going to start at the Woodlawn 41. It's the second time we've seen a bit of a miss hit. Maybe not as bad as the miss hit we saw on Monday Night Football.
Oh, my.
For the Giants.
I've never seen anything like that.
I haven't either. That onside kick didn't get the job done, and so Cedar Ridge has a short field.
They said the bottom of the ball was moving.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't think so either. But I don't care if the ball's wobbling. Yeah. You still got to try to kick it.
Yeah.
You still got to try. That's your job. Just kick it.
Yeah, I'm telling people the ball was moving, too, after that. After just making a fool of yourself on Monday Night Football. But that happened against my Patriots, so I was happy about it.
Oh, that was a nice tackle that time from Woodlawn's big Aiden Powell.
You feel like these are must-stops here for Woodlawn. Need probably back-to-back stops, and the offense has got to keep putting points on the board if they're going to get back into it.
Well, when I was getting ready for this game, one of the things that jumped out to me were all the tackles for a loss for Woodlawn. Matthew Green with 22, Dakota Campbell with 22, Aiden Powell with 11. You had Tate Jacks there with 23, and they just haven't had enough tackles for a loss tonight.
Cedar Ridge doing a good job of avoiding the big man up front. A little pop pass. Going to be enough for first down yardage. That picks up 13 and moving the chains for the Timberwolves. Dawson Ingalls catches that forward toss. It's easy passing yards for Jonas Elms and another first down.
That's just happened too often tonight. You know, they've had some opportunities where they'll have a good play and put them in second and long or third and long. And it just, for Cedar Ridge, it's just been too easy tonight to get chunk plays.
Cedar Ridge averaging 9 yards every time they snap the football. They're over 400 for the contest, and we still have 1:47 left here in the third quarter. Elms, straight give to the running back. Pops off a couple tackles. This is Pankey. Pankey bounces off another defender. Pankey to the 5. Touchdown, Cedar Ridge. 30 yards for Bradley Pankey.
What a run. You're going to watch the replay, and we'll count the missed tackles. Woo. And that's it. I mean, that's been the issue all night. When Woodlawn watches this game, watches the film, they're going to go back and just know if we'd have tackled better, it could have been a different story. But it was just a rough night. But you got to give Cedar Ridge credit, too, because they've got some speed, some quickness, and some strength to break these tackles.
A sophomore running back comes in. The first time he's touched a football.
He's fresh.
Yeah.
All these other guys are worn out. They've been playing both ways the entire game. You bring in a fresh running back off the sideline, he's ready to roll.
Going for 2. Elms held that option read as long as he could, but he's swallowed up in the backfield. Aiden Powell makes the play, so the 2-point conversion is no good, but still the lead is 24 for Cedar Ridge. And take a look at this replay, and Pankey does it all himself.
Let's count the missed tackles. There's 1. How about 2? Thought he was done here.
Yep.
But good cutback. 3, 4. And gets into the end zone. 4 guys had a chance to bring him down. And
4 Woodlawn defenders had to avoid a couple of his own teammates as well. That is a big-time run from a sophomore. 24-point lead for Cedar Ridge. Woodlawn has given up 434 yards of offense, including 306 on the ground.
Woodlawn doesn't need me making excuses for me, but they got some guys out there just gutting it out.
No question.
And there's some of them that missed the tackles and just, I mean, when you're hurting like that, a knee or an ankle, you just don't, you just, it's not the normal way you play. And it's hard enough to tackle some of these guys as it is. And when you're at 60%, it just makes it close to impossible.
No question. Kick squibbed again to the right side. That one goes out of bounds, and Woodlawn has made Cedar Ridge repeatedly re-kick today. We'll see if that changes here.
They just want to take that at 36. The way they've covered kickoffs.
Yeah.
You get a 5-yard penalty, so you'll, move it to the 41? They're talking about it this time.
Looks like they are going to take the football 5 yards from there, so they may get it at the 42. You know, when I saw the matchup of these two teams as we get the call, obviously these two teams played the week before Thanksgiving. I had a bye week last week. You know, everybody thinks of Woodlawn as being a baseball school. Yeah. Everybody thinks that Cedar Ridge, of course, is a basketball school. Austin Reeves is there. That's why 8-man football is so important. Because these small towns, and I'm going to use the word tiny towns, have a chance to go out there and play football because they don't have enough kids to go out there and want to play 11-man. 8-man gives them the opportunity to compete, which is what it's all about.
Well, some of the basketball players joined this Cedar Ridge team, and that gave them the athleticism that they needed, the explosiveness, and it's really taken this team to a new level. And now some of these same names, we may be calling them in the playoffs later this year.
That's right. Cedar Ridge made a deep run in the basketball postseason last year. Woodlawn's always in the baseball state tournament, state final. I believe Cedar Ridge was in a baseball
semifinals last year. Was it finals? I think it was the finals, yeah.
I think that was the game that got rescheduled to be played at Benton, if my memory serves me correct. Saylor takes the quarterback sweep around the right side. He's got first down yardage.
Yeah, I wrote it down. They were in the football finals for the first time because they were in the semis last year and got beat. They were in the basketball semifinals, and they were in the baseball finals. So you were exactly right.
When you cover games as long as you and I have, Wes, they tend to run together, but somehow that information stays locked in the brain. And I stumble upon it every now and then. Inside the final 35 seconds here of the first half. Saylor looking left, a slant. Had a couple blockers out there, but could not connect, and I think they might have blocked a little bit too early. Maybe an offensive pass interference call upcoming.
I think Cedar Ridge or Woodlawn, maybe saying, did they throw it behind the line of scrimmage?
No, that pass was definitely well beyond the line.
Yeah, but I think that would be their argument.
Mm-hmm. They've run that a couple times today, and it's essentially a glorified screen to a wide receiver, but he's running a slant instead of that kind of inside tunnel routes, and they just catch the receiver for blocking a little too early. So that's going to back them up a bunch. 15-yard penalty. They do get the down back, but 1st and 25 for a team that's already way behind on the scoreboard. So that pushes the football all the way back to their own 38. 1st and 25. Saylor on the quarterback sweep to the right side. Cedar Ridge does a great job of stretching that one out, and they drop Saylor after a gain of about 5, but still going to be second and about 20.
Saylor took another big lick that time. He got up slow, saw his head bounce off the turf. I think he got a pretty good lick that time.
Woodlawn's moved the football. 350 yards of offense, but the 2 turnovers, the 2 fumbles inside their own 40-yard line or thereabouts. Too costly to overcome, at least it appears that way so far. Maines takes the handoff on the speed sweep, and he's bounced out of bounds. Pickup of about 4. And it's going to be 3rd and long.
And look, Bradley Pankey, we just saw him running it on offense, a little bit of speed. He was coming across in the formation, chasing him down, and made him cut it up and showed his speed once again, this time on the defensive side.
You and I talked when we were getting ready for the second half about how long that first half felt. This third quarter has been an eternity.
Yes.
But it's also had 50 points in it.
We're approaching. It's going to be a more than 3-hour game when it's all said and done.
Yep. Pass across the middle, short-armed it a little bit, but hits his receiver, and they convert. 3rd and 15 is picked up. Matthew Green, another big play in the passing game.
Time they ran the fake screen, and he was trying to go deep, but give Cedar Ridge credit, they didn't go for that fake or the screen and bite on it. So they had the deep man covered, but the shallow man came across the middle and was wide open.
So that's going to do it for the third quarter of play. 50 points combined between the two teams in that period, but it's Cedar Ridge who's a quarter away from their first ever football championship. Stick around. You're watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championships on Arkansas PBS Sports.
Centennial Bank supports communities across Arkansas and is a proud supporter of the Arkansas Activities Association and Arkansas PBS Sports, providing financial services since 1999. Member FDIC. More at my100bank.com.
This holiday season, you can give yourself a present while impacting the future. When you donate to Arkansas PBS, your gift serves all of Arkansas through media that educates, informs, entertains, and inspires. Make your tax-deductible gift before December 31st. It's a gift that will have an impact for generations to come. Visit myarpbs.org/donate. Thank you and happy holidays from Arkansas PBS.
See your state government in action. The Arkansas Citizens Access Network provides convenient, live streaming coverage of state board and commission meetings, as well as direct links to proceedings of the legislature and the Arkansas Supreme Court. Can't watch live? Archived events are available on demand on YouTube. Learn more at myarkansasPBS.org/Arcan.
One quarter away from crowning a state championship, and here's what's at stake. A perfect season for the Bears if they can complete a comeback. Cedar Ridge looking for their first ever football state championship, and they're 3/4 of the way there as the Timberwolves lead it 54-30, but the Bears do have the football inside the Cedar Ridge 40 as we start the final quarter.
Good news for Woodlawn. They scored 22 points in the third quarter.
That's right.
Bad news for Woodlawn. They gave up 28.
Saylor got plenty of time looking for the deep crosser. Flag comes out on the far side as he overshoots his intended target, Matthew Green, on the deep crosser, but we'll have to check the penalty.
Matthew Green just hauled in the big third down reception, put him back out there.
Penalty came out on the far sideline, the Woodlawn sideline, just behind the line of scrimmage. They discuss, and they'll deliver the verdict.
2 minutes in the backfield, guard penalty.
So a legal formation against Woodlawn's going to back them up 5 yards. They will get the down back. Of course, with 8-man football, we haven't talked about it a ton, Wes, but, the typical eligible numbers don't matter. That's why we've got a number 72 at running back, a 34 at quarterback, but still got to have 4 on the line of scrimmage. Can't have too many in the backfield, things of that nature. So just got to, do some math, which is generally a hard point for us communication guys. Now Woodlawn's going to have to take a timeout. Play clock was winding down. It's at double zeros right now, and so it's the second timeout taken by Woodlawn. The first one they took on a kickoff return team, and now they burn a second here with the clock stopped.
It seemed like a fast 25 seconds after the penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look at the numbers. 434 yards for Cedar Ridge compared to 372. You look at the score and then the numbers, they don't really line up. But again, the 2 turnovers that resulted in 14 points is a big part of the margin right now. 4 of 6 on third down. Woodlawn's improved here in the second half. They're 3 of 7. Both these teams averaging over 7 yards a play, 9.4 every time Cedar Ridge snaps it.
Looking at Cedar Ridge yardage, rushing yardage, 38 carries for 306 yards. In Woodlawn, 39 carries for 237 yards. So they've rushed for over 500 yards tonight.
Some defensive stats before Woodlawn snaps it. Colby Fears 11 tackles, Austin Patch with 10. So they're in double digits. That one immediately blown up in the backfield. Wesley Horton with his 6th stop of the contest, and that one has just had no chance from the beginning.
He was in the backfield quickly. Chased the play down. You'll see him. Came in. No one blocked him. He
almost
snuffed
took the
it out.
handoff.
Yeah, he was ready to tackle both of them.
That's why you watch the film during the week. See tendencies, and Wesley Horton literally almost took the handoff. Saylor looking right and overshoots his tight ends. Trying to get Matthew Green. 3rd and 14 upcoming, but wait a minute, there is a flag on the far side. Did Cedar Ridge get a little too handsy while the ball was in the air? There have been 15 accepted penalties between these two teams. That is a big, big penalty. 15 yards. Also going to be a first down as it was 2nd and 14. Woodlawn needed it.
experience the action all over again next week, follow us on YouTube at myarpbs.org/football2025 to watch the games on demand. So that's nice. Get to go over to YouTube and watch the games all over again next week.
No doubt. So Woodlawn catches the break there, the defensive penalty. Saylor going to try to take advantage, going big ball, far side, but overshoots his target, trying to find Maines. He had one-on-one coverage, but that pass sails out of bounds.
Like the deep shot, I mean, you got to score quickly. I mean, you're down about 24 points. If you can get a big play, that's time to call it up on 1st and 10 from the 25.
So 2nd and 10, just a minute into the 4th quarter. Woodlawn's got to score every time they touch it now. Saylor, quarterback keeper. Lead blocker right in front. Saylor gets first down yardage, picks up 11, but he's going to be slow to get up again as he was chopped down inside the 15.
Just gutting it out. That's all these guys can do. It's their last game of the season. For some of them, the last game of their career. Just fight through it.
129 yards now on the ground for Ethan Saylor on 19 carries. Picked up 11 on that tote. Give it up to Culliford. Culliford stiff arms a defender down to the 5. The helmet comes off just shy of the first down marker. So Culliford's going to have to come out for at least one play due to the lost bonnet. It's going to be 2nd and 1.
You can see why he's been such a big weapon all season long. Just hard to bring him down. And then he's a great blocker.
Yeah. Over 8 yards a carry for Ace Culliford. Sets up 2nd and 1. Low snap. Saylor's going to keep it himself behind Mans. To the 2, to the 1, fighting for the goal line. Did he get there? Yes. Touchdown, Bears. A bad snap, and Saylor had to create something of himself and even got a little extra push at the end from his offensive teammates to get him across the goal line.
And you watch Woodlawn. Lucky because they were trying to pull away at that ball. Cedar Ridge, he's already fumbled twice. They were trying to grab that ball, and that may have what helped him get across the goal line.
Aiden Powell pushes the quarterback across the goal line. Woodlawn's looking back at the video board. I don't know if they recognize that was actually a touchdown called on the field. It was. So now the 2-point try upcoming.
Culliford back in there. See if they don't follow him.
Exactly right behind him. Mans to the 2, and he powers through an arm tackle at the goal line. 2-point conversion is good. And it's a 2-possession game all of a sudden. Still 10 minutes to play. This one far from done.
Yeah, that was an important 2-point conversion. Gets it to 16. So, yeah, it's a 2-point conversion or a 2-possession game right now.
You can get live action photos from the game at myarpbs.org/photos. You can grab free downloads, have prints made. These are a great championship keepsake, and kudos to Kai Caddy for doing the tough work. Doesn't look like he's working real hard right there, but I promise it is cold out there, so kudos to that man.
Well, there's nothing going on right now, so this is a time to take a little bit of a break.
We won't tell him that. Okay, we got him for the 1 30-second stretch that he wasn't working today. We put him on TV for it.
Well, they haven't been able to come up with an onside kick yet, but this would be the ideal time to get that onside kick. Really, they haven't come close to having a loose ball out there. It's either gone out of bounds or it hasn't gone far enough, or it's just gone straight to one of the Cedar Ridge players.
I think that's a good point. You have not even close to recovering one, and when you have that many tries at it, you think you're going to get one eventually, and that may have been their best attempt at it so far, but again, Cedar Ridge able to jump on the loose football. And the drive going to start near midfield for the Timberwolves.
It's about the 4th time I've seen a Cedar Ridge guy go over and pick up a Woodlawn guy.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yeah, they just did that on the quarterback keeper. Somebody went over and helped Ethan Saylor up.
Cedar Ridge going to take over just shy of the 50-yard line, but it is a 2-possession game. We mentioned the last time out there that Woodlawn's got to come up with defensive stops, and this certainly qualifies as that. Handoff, Helms keeps it himself, dives ahead for one. Aiden Powell again with the stop.
Oh, that was strange. That time they didn't even block Aiden Powell. I mean, no one did. He just stood there waiting and reading the quarterback and the running back. And I don't know if maybe that was the wrong read, but Aiden Powell makes the tackle unblocked.
You can tell Cedar Ridge is in no hurry to run this football on this clock. 2nd and 8. Bad snap, though. Helms picks it up. Going to try to find something going right side, but the bad snap really blew that one up from the get-go.
And the Woodlawn player helps up the Cedar Ridge player. And what I was chuckling about, I was watching Aiden Powell again, and before the snap, he was motioning to his helmet. He was telling the center that his chin strap wasn't buckled. And so they got the center's attention. He buckled up and before he snapped the ball.
Losing count how many times that Wesley Horton for Cedar Ridge has been sent off the field, I believe, because of blood. And so, again, the trainer's going to have to come bandage him up.
Yeah, here you go. Watch the big guy. He's pointing to him. He's pointing now. They tell him. And they snap it on for him. Now he's ready to play.
3rd and 7. Huge play coming up right here for Cedar Ridge. The players run into each other. A little miscommunication, and that break goes for Woodlawn. Dropped in the backfield as Dawson Ingalls and I believe that was Cash Martin collided in the backfield, and Ingalls is down on the field. Ooh. Ingalls was going on the jet motion and immediately went to grab the back of his left leg. Just some miscommunication there. The ball might have been snapped a bit too early, and hopefully he's all right. But more importantly for Woodlawn, it's 4th and long.
He started grabbing the back of his leg. I don't know if it's a hamstring. Now he's kind of pointing to the knee. Hope he's okay.
So we'll step aside as they tend to the down player for Cedar Ridge. Huge 4th down coming up.
Everett Buick GMC provides vehicles to Arkansas families and supports local organizations. Community involvement has been part of our story for generations. Proud to support the Arkansas Activities Association and Arkansas PBS Sports. More at everettbgmc.com.
From classrooms to communities, Arkansas PBS is making a difference every day, preparing our youngest learners.
What's the next clue?
Educating our teachers. Providing public safety. Informing the public.
On the next Arkansas Week.
And celebrating Arkansas, its people, and its history. Through the partnership of our viewers, members, and community leaders, Arkansas PBS will continue to serve as a beacon of educational excellence and a platform for the stories that matter to Arkansans. Arkansas PBS, making a difference.
By far the biggest play of the game coming up for Woodlawn. It's 4th and 8 for Cedar Ridge. And the Bear defense trying to get their crowd into it.
Yeah, they've had several opportunities on 3rd down and 4th down. Cedar Ridge 2 for 4 on 4th down so far.
Jonas Elms, the quarterback, surveying the field. They're going to get a new play from their coach, Scott Morgan. 10 on the play clock. Woodlawn almost jumped into the neutral zone. Now Cedar Ridge again goes to the wristband. 2 on the play clock. Got to hurry to get it off. They do. Elms looking, stop and go. Has the receiver wide open, but the pressure causes that pass to be underthrown, and a late flag comes in. The stop and go on the far side was going to be wide open, but the pressure got to the quarterback, Elms, forced him to roll to his left, and the ball that was underthrown comes back to cost the defender.
Yeah, Griffin Main's got to get his head turned around. He never looked back, and easy call from the official. Grabbed the receiver, ball still in the air. You know, if you turn around to look for it, he probably picks it off.
Yep. The Woodlawn crowd's not going to like it, but when they see the replay, it's pretty obvious. So take another look at it again. It was 4th and long, but clearly grabs the receiver. Colby Fears trying to fight back for the football. That's going to draw a flag every time.
Yeah, it's an obvious call. I mean, maybe if he, but he doesn't know where the ball is. It was so far underthrown that if he doesn't touch him, he probably doesn't catch it.
That's right.
But then again, if you turn around and find the ball in the air, you can stop, and he probably picks it off.
Yep, one of the few times that the Woodlawn pass rush has gotten home and affected Jonas Elms. But the penalty in the back end gives Cedar Ridge a first down. So 1st and 10 at the 35 for the Timberwolves. That's Martin. They fake it to him. Elms has got all day to run. 20, 15, 5. Jonas Elms, how about 5 touchdowns in the state title game?
Well, how about the big response? I mean, it's 4th and long, a huge play of the game, 4th and 6. They try to get them on jump offside. They wouldn't jump offside. Then you get the pass interference. Very next play, just rolls in, untouched again, I believe. I don't think anyone got a hand on him. That's 2 or 3 touchdowns he's had untouched. Just great play calling, great execution, fantastic blocking. They seal the edge, and he's got a defender, or he's got one blocker out in front of him, and I don't think the blocker had to get anybody.
208 yards and 5 touchdowns for Jonas Elms, and that touchdown might have sealed the deal. You got a feel for Woodlawn. They thought they got the stop defensively. And just 2 plays later, the Timberwolves in the end zone, and now they add the 2-point conversion on the out route to Colby Fears. And just like that, Cedar Ridge has opened up a 62-38 lead.
Here's a look at the touchdown run. Check out the blocking, seal the edge. He's got somebody there to block for him. He doesn't even have to block. He was going to outrun him all the way anyway. So just great execution, 2-point conversion. It's called a jerk route. Colby Fears runs inside, then stops after about a step, then cuts it back outside. We call it a jerk route because you make the DB look like a jerk. Just a great route from Colby Fears. Yep. Great throw, easy 2-point conversion, and the lead goes from 16 to 24.
Yep, just like that, 2-play sequence, and you got to believe the Woodlawn had all the air taken out of their sails with that penalty. Gives up the first down on 4th down, and Jonas Elms makes them pay. So do a little quick math. 336 total yards for 7 touchdowns for the quarterback, Jonas Elms. Pretty impressive day for number 34 in Cedar Ridge. But as we've already seen, this game is far from over. What a catch. Whew. Man, makes the play. Trying to create something now, but just still no running lanes on the kick return. He's taken down to the 35, but a flag comes in from behind the play. We've already had 17 accepted penalties, but what a one-handed snag on the kickoff.
Whoa. Looked like Trey Burks.
So we'll have to check the flag here. Maybe hands to the face or a face mask, either way, on the tackle. Ball's at the 35, so they'll be moving it forward, moving it back. Anyway, they're going to take their time to talk about it, and we'll get the call.
We have 2 fouls by each team. Personal foul, offense, face pass. Personal foul, Cedar Ridge. 35-yard line.
Do they each grab each other's face mask?
Yeah, they might have. So the penalties will offset, so the result of the kick return is going to be to get the ball at the 35-yard line. Don't replay the down, I guess, because it was a kickoff. At least that's what we're going to call it. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bears right here. 8:26 to go in the contest. Well, toss sweep to Mans. Trying to create something right up the middle. Picks up about 8, maybe 9 yards. Cedar Ridge has done a pretty decent job of slowing Griffin Mans down. 13 carries, about 55, 56 yards.
Yeah, he came in as their second leading rusher behind Ethan Saylor and just hasn't been able to get on track so far.
Pass picked off. Cedar Ridge had that one read from the snap. Colby Fears makes the play up the far sideline, gets a block. Colby Fears has got a house call for the Timberwolf defense. Another flag comes in late. We'll just have to see if that negates the touchdown return from Colby Fears. But Cedar Ridge has got everything going their way.
He starts celebrating a little too early. Is that what they call?
No.
Putting the ball up in the air. May have had a block over there once he cuts across the field. Had a block maybe that was illegal.
So it looked like they're going to set the football, or at least they're attempting to set the ball down.
So 59 yards on that return for Colby Fears. That would be his 3rd touchdown of the game. He's got 2 receiving, 2 catches, 44 yards. So every time he touches it in the air, he takes it back one way or another for a touchdown.
Here's the call.
Woodlawn, on the return. That will be a set-go kickoff. Return is a touchdown.
So the penalty is going to be on Woodlawn. So the touchdown stands for a 59 interception return for Colby Fears. And he just steps in front of that pass, picks up a couple big blocks, and does the rest himself. How quickly did this game turn, Wes?
I go back to the first half. You have the ball, chance to make it a 1-possession score. The fumble, they get the ball back. Cedar Ridge marches down, scores the touchdown.
Cedar Ridge going to try to add the 2. They've already set the state record for most points scored in an 8-man football championship. 66 was the margin by Strong back in the first ever 8-man state title game. So 68 now the new record for most points ever in an 8-man championship game.
It may not be done, Bobby.
There's still a lot of time left. The flags are coming out a little too much. So we have 18 accepted penalties. And we've got, 5 that have been declined. Either way, Cedar Ridge has blown open this contest. 68-38's the score. Don't go anywhere all weekend, though. We are just getting warmed up. 4 more state championships. And if this one has anything to do about the others, whoever is operating the scoreboard at War Memorial Stadium may get hazard pay.
106 points total in this game.
That's good math. I did say that pre-game. Maybe 100 was within reach.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see that with Bryant and Bentonville.
Yeah.
Maybe Shiloh Greenwood. We could get that.
You know, EPC, Cross County's defenses are too good for that.
No. I think that's going to be maybe one team gets in the 20s. I don't see either one getting in the 30s. That's a low-scoring battle.
And then if Lakeside has taught us anything the last couple of weeks, they're going to be in a game that's in the 20s.
Yeah, they're going to. It's going to be a defensive battle with those two. So,
of course, that means everybody's going to go out and score 70 points the next couple of days because they're just going to prove us wrong. But yeah, I think you're right. The 6A game Saturday night has a chance to be another shootout between Shiloh and Greenwood. Just the 19th and 17th trip to the state championship games, respectively, for those two teams.
Well, what a lot of a tradition.
Yep. Onside kick for Cedar Ridge, and they got it. So they touch it before it got 10 yards.
No, Woodlawn ended up with it.
Okay, Woodlawn recovers the football.
You know, I'll tell you what, he took a hit.
He did.
And still came up with it.
And if you're Cedar Ridge there, you really have nothing to lose because of the 15-yard penalty. You're already kicking off at the 45-yard line of Woodlawn. And, of course, you're always thinking about how can we end the game as fast as possible. Cedar Ridge recovers that onside kick, goes and scores. The sportsmanship rule could be enforced. Again, Woodlawn recovers the onside kick. And they'll try to get the offense back in the end zone, trailing by 30. Sailor's a quarterback. Handoff, a fake trick play, and that one's snuffed out from the beginning. Lusby Savuentes was not fooled as he drops that one for a no gain.
I think there was some mass confusion because I think Culliford thought he was supposed to get it. Culliford had his arms outstretched looking at the bench like, what was that?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What's going on?
That one didn't look kind of discombobulated from the beginning. Clock's running, nearing the 7-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. They're going to try it again. Oh. Inside handoff on the reverse, and that one's stacked up after a couple-yard gain. And the clock's going to continue to wind. That was Martin Bo Watson who ends up getting the handoff.
He limps back to the huddle.
He's been limping most of this contest. The tight end for Woodlawn. Cedar Ridge inching towards their first ever football state championship. Sailor, he's going to keep it. Quarterback lead to the far side. Gets across the 40 up to the 42. But it's going to be fourth down for Woodlawn. And they are 0 for 3 on fourth down so far tonight.
Sailor slow to get up once again. Let's see the official checking with him, seeing if he's okay. Tough as that dude is, he's not coming out right now. He's gutted it all the way through here. He wants to finish this one out.
Yeah, you can say a lot of things about this Woodlawn team, but you cannot say they are not tough. They have fought through tons and tons of injuries tonight. Another trick play. Reverse, going to pass. Sailor on the receiving end of that toss for Matthew Green, and most importantly, it's a first down for the Bears.
Look at Sailor. He's still down on the sideline.
He took a shot after hauling in that pass. It looked like a little bit of a Philly special. It's the quarterback on the receiving end. But it's a first down. Woodlawn keeps the offense on the field.
His leggings are ripped.
Just battled it out. On a cold night here in the capital city. The flags are starting to blow a little more than they have all night. I formation, straight give. Ball's on the ground though. Woodlawn puts it on the turf again, but they're able to jump back on the loose ball. Almost disaster there for the Bears, but they get it back. Going to be 2nd and 12.
Now Maines is gimpy again. Maybe want to give it to Culliford. He seems like, yeah. Now he cramped up earlier, but he's the only one not less than about 70%.
Again, the I formation to go with the counter play. What a pancake block on the far side. Didn't pick up a whole lot. But 66, Dakota Campbell has put a Timberwolf defender on his back. So 3rd and long upcoming for Woodlawn.
Maines is having to leave the game.
Sailor tries the slant, got his receiver. That's Watson, going to be dropped just shy of the first down marker, though. 9-yard pickup for Watson. Sailor now 7 of 15 passing, 144 yards. Caught that one, almost slipped through the hands, but nice job by Watson to maintain possession. But another 4th down upcoming.
Culliford, 4th and 1.
Got to believe it's going to him. They're going to use him as the lead blocker. Sailor straight ahead, needed 1, picked up 2. Going to be another 4th down conversion for Woodlawn as the drive continues. Just grinding it out. Of course, Woodlawn needs big plays and needs to score in a hurry. No give up in this Woodlawn football team. The empty backfield, twins to each side for Saylor. Looking left, tries that little slant pass with the blockers out in front, but that might have been tipped before it got to his intended target, Matthew Green. Had some blockers out front, but Green couldn't bring it in.
Saylor's so gimpy. It's just hard for him to execute right now, to throw the ball. That one's a little low.
Trips to the right side of the formation, going that direction. Hits his receiver. Not a whole lot happening for Watson as he's dropped after a gain of 3. Watson has just gutted it out. He's got pain on his arm, limping around back to the huddle. But he's had a good day. Just 2 carries for 3 yards, but 2 catches, 16 yards, and a score, not to mention what he's done on the defensive side of the football. 3rd and 7. Saylor got time. Now pressure shows up, and he just throws that one away. Had a tick or two, but nobody was breaking open, and then the pressure got in his face and has had to throw it away. And now 4th and 7 upcoming.
Smart throw, or smart decision. Just throw that one away. You got one more shot at it here.
So 4th and 7 for Woodlawn. Already converted 2 4th downs on this drive. Trying to make it a 3rd, and they can't do so. That one just off the fingertips of the tight end on the over route. Green couldn't pull it in, and it's a turnover on downs, and the Cedar Ridge defense comes up with another big stop.
It's wild watching. Only looks like 2 guys are walking off the field for Woodlawn, so they just stay out there, and they're all gimpy, limping, and in pain. You're done on offense. You're not going to the sideline. You stay back out there. Try to make a tackle now.
Cedar Ridge going to try to put together a 3-minute and 14-second drive, maybe try to end this game with the offense on the field. 469 yards of offense for the Timberwolves. We've seen over 900 combined yards between these two teams. Quarterback keeper, Elms. He's got a blocker out front. Finally taken down, but not before he picks up 13 more yards and another first down for Cedar Ridge.
He was trying to cut that, and when he put his foot in the ground to cut it back, it just slipped out from underneath him. We got another injured Woodlawn player.
So Elms at 220 yards now for the contest. We have to wait for the official word, but go ahead and put his name on the MVP trophy today. It's been outstanding.
Couldn't see the injured player. But I think he was involved in the tackle. That is a worn out group. Look at him over there. Not only taking the knee, but just flat sitting. Griffin Maines over there.
We'll step aside. Cedar Ridge, 68-38 lead on Woodlawn.
This month in Passport on the PBS app.
Eliza, you are an excellent detective, and I need your help.
Go on.
Charlie's gonna help with the show.
It'll be fun.
How am I meant to work under these conditions?
Jane Austen was my sister.
He was saddled with me forever.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS app.
Michael Wright was the shaken up player for Woodlawn, but he was able to jump up and walk off under his own power, which is great to see. So Cedar Ridge football, 3:08 to play, and they've got a fresh set of downs.
And they can run the clock. I mean, you got 3 minutes left. You're up comfortably by 30 points. And you say they're in no hurry.
Yep. Gonna let this play clock bleed all the way down, and they're likely 1, maybe 2 first downs away from icing this contest.
There's a good look at Michael Wright on the sideline. Glad he's up and over, holding his ribs.
Bad snap. Elms picks it up off the ground. He's got some space on the left side. Flags are coming out. Elms thought about going down, and he finally does, but this one likely going to come back.
Well, I think he was thinking, I don't want to go out of bounds. Yeah. And so he cut it back up, and then he went down just to stay in bounds, but he didn't realize there were 2 flags down behind him.
So illegal shift on Cedar Ridge. The 8th penalty against the Timberwolves. Woodlawn's been whistled for 11 infractions. Cedar Ridge chance to get the 500 yards offensively. 483 in the contest.
Absolutely incredible. 355 yards rushing. You rush for over 300, you're going to win a lot of games.
Clock continues to run. Almost to the 2-minute mark. Elms going to keep it on the right side. Breaks free. He's got a chance to take it the distance. Elms to the 30, 20, 10. He's going to score. Make it 6 rushing touchdowns for the Timberwolves quarterback.
And he may have gone in untouched again.
I think the Elms was fighting with himself. Do I go down or do I go ahead and score? You could kind of see the wheels turning from all the way up here in the press box. Do I go score? And he does. 6 rushing touchdowns. And that one maybe the longest of the day.
I think he's probably worn out too.
Flag comes out as the Woodlawn coach is all the way inside the numbers. Almost out to the hash. That's Doug Means. He is not pleased.
They were on the holding call. There were a couple of Woodlawn players that felt like they were held on the play. And they were emphatic about it. And the coach is out there taking up for his guys.
Yep.
I have to watch it again. I was just looking at the huge hole and how he was going in untouched. Maybe there was a reason why there was such a huge hole and why he did go untouched. Woodlawn feels like they were holding some of his guys.
Yep. 57-yard touchdown run officially from Jonas Elms. So the 15-yard penalty is going to be assessed on the kickoff, so the touchdown stands. And that does invert. Yes, it does. Math is hard for me, Wes. It doesn't invoke the sportsmanship rule. Yeah.
36.
When I got to start carrying the 1, we got a problem.
Hey, Jonas Elms, glad you're not adding up his rushing numbers, and we got Troy Mitchell doing it for us. 279 rushing. He's also got 128 yards passing. Jonas, I was thinking he caught a pass, didn't they, though, or was that the other quarterback?
That was the other quarterback. Okay. That's the other way. Saylor caught the Philly
that's
special.
Right. Yeah. That's the only thing he hasn't done tonight.
And Powell shuts down that 2-point conversion. Cedar Ridge has been shut down on the majority of the 2-point tries tonight. But it doesn't matter when you're finding the end zone as many times as they are in that massive hole. Anybody can run through it. And you can see Jonas Elms, 279 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns tonight. What a performance.
He also has 4 tackles and a half tackle for a loss. So, he's been playing some defense too. You look at some of the defensive numbers for Cedar Ridge. Colby Fears, 12 tackles to lead the team with that interception, return for a touchdown. Austin Patch has 12 tackles, tackle for a loss. Wesley Horton, we've seen him on offense and defense. He's got 8 tackles, a tackle for a loss.
Griffin Maines leading the way for the Woodlawn defense, 7 stops. It's not enough defensive stops overall. Cedar Ridge going to win their first ever state championship, and this has been a pretty dominant performance offensively. And they look good in the first half, West. In the second half, they've been almost unstoppable. 48 points after halftime.
They're just going to kick that one almost to the end zone.
Maines fields it there. Coming near side, pushed out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. And that's where Woodlawn's going to take over, where the clock's going to continue to run. They're not going to have many snaps left. This game is inching towards the 3.5-hour mark. Be sure to stick around. Trophy presentation. Find out who your MVP is, even though you probably already know. Tunnel screen goes right through the hands of the intended target. That was Bo Watson on the far side as that one goes incomplete. What's your takeaway from this contest, Wes?
Oh, man, I've been so impressed with Jonas Elms. Yeah. And the blocking. I mean, when he run, how many? 3, 4 touchdowns untouched?
Untouched.
You know, a lot of that's ability and speed of him. But, man, you got to give credit to his blockers. They were fantastic tonight. And just they're the undersized team. Yep. You know, the bigger team is no doubt Woodlawn, but they did a great job. That's great coaching when you go up a bit. You know, it's not all size. You know, there's technique to blocking, and if you get underneath a big guy and use the right angle and the right hand position, you can block him.
That's right.
That's what they've done tonight. And they're not here by an accident, so they've gone up against, I'm sure, some bigger teams than them throughout the season, and they weren't intimidated and just did a fantastic job running the ball all night long. And then, you know, when you fall behind and you're trying to play catch up, you can't turn the ball over. And there were 3 costly turnovers, 2 fumbles, then the pick 6 that kind of put an end to any thoughts of a comeback. But, you know, once again, I don't know how many championship games you and I have done, but you know, a lot of times it boils down to turnovers. You take care of the ball, you got a really good chance to win. If you win the turnover battle in the championship game, chances are you're going to win.
So Woodlawn took the timeout. Now the clock runs as they're back in play. They try to slant to the near side. That's hauled in. Matthew Green takes another big shot. The clock's going to continue to run, and that may do it here in the 8-man state championship game. But what a gutsy effort for Woodlawn, battling through countless injuries in this contest. But Cedar Ridge, just too much. See if Woodlawn's going to try to run one more play. And they are. Saylor drops back to pass. That one's off the hands of his receiver, and that's going to do it. The Cedar Ridge Timberwolves have won the 8-man state championship. And the Timberwolves win it for the first time in school history and do so in dominant fashion as they take down Woodlawn 74-38. Step aside, trophy presentation coming up as you've been watching the Centennial Bank State Football Championship on Arkansas PBS Sports.
This broadcast is underwritten in part by...
Since 1937, the electric cooperatives of Arkansas have been providing power to homes, farms, and businesses across our state. The cooperatives are member-owned and work together to serve Arkansans. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas proudly support high school students and athletics in Arkansas and hope you enjoy watching the state championship games on Arkansas PBS Sports. Better connected together. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas.
UANS is a proud supporter of Arkansas PBS Sports. UANS Health provides orthopedic and sports medicine care across Arkansas, supporting athletes and teams throughout the state. Find out more at uanshealth.com. Winrock Automotive supports Arkansas athletes as a sponsor of the Arkansas PBS Sports broadcast of the high school state championship games, with 7 dealerships across the state serving Little Rock, Conway, and Jonesboro. Winrock Automotive is community-focused and provides vehicle sales and service across Arkansas. We're honored to be a part of these unforgettable moments celebrating Arkansas student athletes. Winrock Automotive, connecting communities through service and support.
This month in Passport on the PBS app.
Eliza, you are an excellent detective, and I need your help.
Go on. Charlie's gonna help with the show. It'll be fun.
How am I meant to work under these conditions?
Jane Austen was my sister. He was saddled with me forever.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS app.
Sports is so important to this state and the fabric of the state, and I appreciate Arkansas PBS doing all the state title games, and that makes it available for not just the fans in Central Arkansas, South Arkansas, but fans around the entire state. I can only think of the kids in small towns, and this is the biggest moment maybe in their sports careers, and they have that keepsake of having that game on TV to have with them the rest of their lives.
This month in Passport on the PBS app.
In the middle of the war, we had ourselves a Merry Christmas.
Hear the untold stories of the last months of the war and find out how close we came to an even more catastrophic conclusion.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS app. This month in Passport on the PBS app.
What happened?
I'm investigating the murder of my friend.
I think I might be able to help. My name is Agatha Christie. I'm a writer.
This situation is getting out of control.
You should be more careful. I want you to help me solve a murder.
I'm a writer, not a detective.
It's a mystery, like one of your books.
These and other shows from Arkansas PBS are available with Passport on the PBS app.
These are challenging times for public media, but one thing remains clear. The Arkansas PBS community is strong. Because of you, our mission continues, bringing trusted information, educational programs, and powerful Arkansas stories to every corner of the state. This is a pivotal moment, but with your help, we can preserve our legacy and safeguard our future. Please consider a monthly sustaining donation or increasing your support if you are able. Thank you.
It's primetime on your time. Get more of your primetime favorites each weekday starting at 1:30 following our PBS Kids programs. Catch up on all the programs you love, including Exploring Arkansas, Nature, Antiques Roadshow, Arkansas Week, British Favorites, Mysteries, and more, beginning at 1:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. See the full schedule and all the ways to watch at myarkansaspbs.org/watch.
That's what Cedar Ridge came for, and that's what Cedar Ridge is taking home. The 8-man state championship trophy belongs to the Timberwolves. First time in school history they're taking home a football championship. They've been there in basketball, played for baseball championships, but the 8-man squad in dominant fashion gets the job done tonight. 412 yards on the ground, and that really has to stand out.
540 yards total. We almost had 1,000 yards combined in this game. 540 for Cedar Ridge, 446 for Woodlawn, so that's 986 combined total yards. Of course, over 112 total points in this game. There's a look at your final stats. A lot of penalties, a lot of touchdowns. A long game, almost 3.5 hours long, but it was very worth it for Cedar Ridge. Their fans aren't complaining about the length of this game.
Yeah, you look at the total numbers for Woodlawn, too, 446 yards of offense, but the turnovers. 3 turnovers resulted in 20 total points for Cedar Ridge, and I mean that's really what you point to. An 8-man game, it's all about possessions. How many times can you get your hands on the football? How many defensive stops can you get? Cedar Ridge certainly created some things with their defense, and that's why they're taking home a trophy.
They got some stops early in the game. Remember, Woodlawn got off to a slow start, and Cedar Ridge scored their first 3 possessions, and next thing you know, they built a lead. Here's a look at some of the highlights. Your MVP, Jonas Elms, 279 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns in the game. He also threw for 2 touchdowns. Woodlawn, that's their big guy. We talked about Ace Culliford. He had 79 yards rushing in the touchdown. Back and forth they went, and Woodlawn trying to play catch up, but it was that running game, and too many times. That's another one of those just really untouched into the end zone. Great job of blocking, some great play calling, and Cedar Ridge rolls to the 8-man title.
Woodlawn cut it to 16, had a chance for a 4th down stop, but a penalty gave Cedar Ridge the 1st down, and they put it away from that point. So that's going to do it for the 8-man state championship game as Cedar Ridge takes it 74-38, but we are just getting warmed up on championship weekend. 4 more games coming your way over the next 2 days, and it starts tomorrow at noon with the 2A state championship as East Poinsett County going to take on Cross County, the second meeting between the two teams from the 2A2 conference. It was 20-16 the first time they met this year. Should be a good one tomorrow at noon. Westmore, RJ Hawk going to be on the call for that one. Be sure to tune in, the first of 4 more championship games. As for that Westmore, I'm Bobby Swafford. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Your final score, Cedar Ridge 74-38. They're taking home an 8-man state championship, and you've been watching it right here on Arkansas PBS Sports.